Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Swimmer Sing 65. It is I, Mad Gamer II, and I am joined by the one and only Kraken Mayor.
Hello, I am here. How are you all tonight?
I am doing just fine myself.
I don't know why I said you all, but I'm in like a tri-stream today or something like that. There's like 10 people in the VC.
Well, if you count me, myself, and I, it's just a party.
Yeah.
We're gonna be...
Yeah, that's 3 people right there. Anyways, we have some fun teams for us in this first one, Imad.
Yes, indeed. Our first matchup is going to be Cherry Limeade versus Squid Legends.
Two really good teams here, Imad. Two both really experienced teams, and good to see Cherry Limeade out here. I haven't personally seen him on stream in quite a while, actually.
Indeed. I am not overly familiar with their playing style, so I'm going to have to leave that to you, but I will be excited to see what's going to happen.
From my knowledge, they're very team-oriented. That's their biggest thing that they go for, and that's really what they're focusing on, make sure they're playing it together as a team. But you'll have like Lily on, which I don't know. I don't think Lily's in today. You'll have Lily on Junior. Joke will play a lot of like CDS. Crim will go murder everything. Pika will also murder everything. So like, that's kind of what you're up to. But how about these maps here?
Oh, these are very interesting maps. That is definitely a very popular combo. I am a bit torn depending on what I'm feeling the day, but it is definitely a good map mode.
Yeah, it's a really good one here. And here we go, Imad. We are in this game.
Fun. We're going to be hopping into zones on Mako Mart. Our first matchup, we got an Explosher and an E-Leader. Have to say, I was kind of expecting the E-Leader. I run into it quite a bit in solo, but this should be a fun matchup. We have a Neo sloshing machine on the side of purple here. This will be interesting to see. Got the double missiles and the zap for the armor. And so far we have green in control of the first couple of seconds here. They're getting that nice pick there on the brush. They're going to be solidifying their holdover zone. And just going to be... have to watch out for the amount of bombs and specials coming out, and purple's going to be taking it right back.
Yeah, green going ahead here, which is, of course, the Squid Legends, doing a lot of damage already, getting a few points on the board. But as you mentioned, Cherry Limeade able to get this, and look at them just kind of push them all back and keep them at those drop points. And they can't even push to their own stack right now, Imad. That machine finally going down, though, and finally an establishment on the side of Squid Legends on this stack. And the sniper just trying to take that Explo, though.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that sniper can't reach, and so the Explo is going to have to get pretty creative on how to approach this. But definitely having that slosher going down was key for retaking their sack, as you said. We do see the bubbles coming out from that leader, going to be trying to take that zone back, but the K-Shot here just holding back with his own set of bombs, but I don't think it's going to be enough with the missiles coming in.
Yeah, not enough here with the missiles, but they did go ahead and, put a really large penalty on Cherry Limeade and got some points on it, which is really the biggest part. But Cherry Limeade is going to be able to get it back here. Shiny Boy trying to get some more picks. Unable to do so, but they did get a jump out there. Kind of really hard to see that right at the end. Bubbles coming out from the sniper, just putting pressure. Doesn't look like they're attempting to pop them per se. But if you can keep them back for, a good 10 seconds just by having the bubbles sit there, that's super worthwhile. I mean, look at this from this top-down view. Perfect, Imad. Those bubbles are just keeping them from even pushing for all the way to the end of the penalty.
Yeah, the bubbles are effectively a wall. There's not a whole lot you can do until you get back them, but that's going to be 2 down for the side of Cherry Limeade. And Squid Legends are really going to be taking us back almost 3 down now with just the E-Leader remaining. I think he might have hopped out to save some special there. But they're going to have a tough time trying to get back in as Squid Legends are locking it back down.
Yeah, we see those points on the board here. Bubbles again. Look at this again. The entire area on that right side where those bubbles were, we're not getting pushed, obviously, because if you die, that's not good as well. The Bomb Rush getting picked. That's a huge pick here by 7 Demons. Going ahead and trying to get behind Cherry Limeade. Able to get another one in combination with their teammate. And it's just, that's a delayed wipe, Imad, because that machine was the first one to die.
That is very impressive, and considering it was a 7v1, I would say they're not quite as impressive, but still nonetheless. We have about 15 seconds left here. They're going to have to really put in a last-second grab in order to grab the zone right back. Brush is trying to get in some picks with his Inkjet, but we have one down on both sides with still green in control.
A Cherry Limeade goes ahead and caps it, Limeade. Finally able to push back the entire team of Squid Legends, making the last one jump out. And you can see the breakdown here again that we saw in the previous pushbacks by Squid Legend. Just kind of waiting for their specials. They do have missiles ready and armor. Both do pop out. Crim having to back up. Other members of Cherry Limeade having to back up. But Pika trying to use their bomb rush to keep it, unable to do so. But Crim going ahead and taking 2 members down of Squid Legends, and that is going to keep them in the play. Make that a quad, Limeade!
Oh, moly, that was quite impressive. While they were unable to keep the zone long enough to stall the penalty out, they will be chewing through that penalty really quickly, and so they're still going to be able to get some more points on this board. Doing a fantastic job at just keeping control of the different areas. Missiles are coming out and just not letting them get another foothold to get back in the zone. We're getting down to the last 30 points here.
Oh, Crim's going to hold forward on them. Unable to get anything that time, it looks like, but in combination with their team, they're able to get a couple members down. The Bucket is going to try to cap this zone, able to do so alone. No teammates to support. And this first game will go to Cherry Limeade. What a good game there. So back and forth, Limeade.
Was indeed, and that was quite the comeback. Coming back from 4. Whew, very impressive indeed.
Crim not putting up nobody really put up very many on the scoreboard there, but Crim.
Oh, absolutely. There just wasn't a real deciding victor until those last couple of seconds with the wipe there by the Tetra Dualies.
Yeah, no, the wipe there by Tetra Dualies. I accidentally realized I was muted. But I was giving credit here to Crim, you know, popping 8. I believe it didn't count for you guys, you didn't hear, but Crim only getting 8 on the scoreboard. I'll tell you what, it felt like 20. They just popped up at the end where it mattered. But yes, Rainmaker Sturgeon Shipyard is our next map, Limeade. Where do you think the most important areas are to hold on this map?
That is a good question. I would say definitely the snipe, that high area right there, especially when you see an E-leader coming out, because there's such a good vantage point for both defending and attacking. Bishop being able to take control of that will definitely aid in either victory or defeat. And
here we go. We get to see what each team's going to pull out. They're nice and quick. And there is a joke on the CDS that I kind of talked about beforehand last time. They're going for the brush. Crim going for a high aggressive weapon here with these aren't the Clapples, but the Dapple Doolies here. Which the Bomb Rush is going to be really helpful for on the shield.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. As we used to call them the Poison Apple Dualies with the Poison Mist and the Rain, I believe.
Oh, yes, you're right. It is the Rain. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the pink ones.
Well, I do believe they still have that Bomb Rush with the Neo sloshing machine there, and they're going to be taking it up the ramp, getting it already to 50, but that's going to be 3 down for the side of the Limeade.
Yeah, but they are going to keep them to a score of 50. Not a great push. You know, really hard to defend, but I have seen games held to around that point for the lead. But both of these teams are very capable of putting tons of points on the board. We saw that in the last game, so I would say that this 50-point push will not be the game-winning push. I'm willing to put my money on that. But pretty good defense thus far by Cherry Limeade, able to keep them from scoring much more than 20 points. You're going to end up being 27 when this push ends. Shiny Boy, though, gets flanked, and the Slosher getting 1, trying to get 2 before they go down, and they do manage to do so.
Yeah, we're going to see 2 down on both sides, but they are able to stop this push for now and able to get that pop. So that'll allow them to get some more map control to push back in and just keep the enemy from getting any more points for the time being. We do see some back and forth, just some poking about, some bombs coming. Some specials are online, and the Rainmaker is going to reset.
Joke here trying to push up on the right side. Armor coming out. Missiles coming out from the side of Squid Legends. Trying to clear out that right side so they can maybe push that right side this time instead of the left side here from the perspective of Cherry Limeade. If you look, all 4 members of Cherry Limeade are really more this left side. Joke trying to get something going on the other side, but not able to do so. Crim going down. That is 2 members down on the side of Cherry Limeade. We do see Squid Legends trying to get to Shiny Boy, but they're unable to do so, and Shiny Boy just got 2, but gets avenged here by the Slosher, but it won't be enough here to get the lead this time.
Indeed, quite unfortunate for the Squid Legends, but they are not done with this push just yet. They are still putting on the pressure and able to keep this Rainmaker in their color. Just going to have to watch out for that Sniper covering that ledge there. And it looks like the Squelcher is going to be getting a Stingray to combat that Charger. Yes, we see it popped coming out, and we have 1 down for the side of Squid Legends, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a pretty stagnant moment here. Nobody getting past really the snipe of Cherry Limeade. That's kind of been the front, which is a pretty standard front on this map. It's pretty hard to clear up the pit. As I say that, 7 Demons getting another pick. The Shiny Boy keeping Cherry Limeade in the lead again by getting an important pick and make that another one. Shiny Boy right now, the MVP of this game for Cherry Limeade.
Not going down without a fight, just keeping that Rainmaker at bay, and we do see the 2 down for the side of Squid Legends, and so the orange is going to be coming out here, just getting some paint and just retaking that mid for the first time since this game started.
You're right, first time since that first initial push, they've been just kept back, but they were patient about it. You know, for the most part, they managed to stay up. Even if they went 1 or 2 down, they didn't give up the position, and it allowed them to hold this through the first 3 minutes of this game. And now finally able to get some progress going as they get the wipe on Squid Legends. But 2 on each side go down. Yeah, make that a 3rd one on Squid Legends because Shiny Boy just wants to run up the KD department here, trying to get into double digits with 1 more kill.
Yes, indeed. Shiny Boy's got quite the view from up here, able to really reach most of mid here and just try to put all the pressure on them. We do see missiles. Oh, yeah, missiles are getting popped with the armor not too far behind. 1 down for the side of both, and Squid Legend's going to be picking up that Maker once again. They're going to have to be careful, because, yeah, we see 1 going down there, and if they're with the Charger still up, we've seen that his shots are on point and will not let that Maker pass if they don't take him down first.
You know, right now, I'm glad I didn't actually put any money on them getting past 50, anybody getting past 50, because right now Shiny Boy and the rest of Cherry Limeade have been pretty good at keeping them at bay. And there's only 15 seconds to get that score beat, and I don't think that's going to happen. If they can't get up this block, they're going to have to commit to the one side. It just depends on if Cherry Limeade can get there very quickly and avoid getting completely picked by people like 7 Demons and the Slosher, who is pushing up so well.
We see the Poison Apples really putting in the work with the Poison Mist, and the Charger not too far behind. And that's going to be game for the side of Cherry Limeade. Fantastic
Cherry
showing.
Limeade got that one. It's interesting that the score of 50 ended up being what got the lead on this one. Not what you see very often being the winning push, but hey, you know what? This map's a little bit different, and they had a really good defense on Cherry Limeade. Really.
Oh, absolutely. Ironclad defense.
Alright, so we have ourselves one last game in this one because it is a play all 3, and our next and final map in this set will be Tower Control Anchovy Games. What do you think is the most important map or part of this map?
I would say definitely taking control of that plat area, as we do have 2 checkpoints that has to pass through there. Is a bit of a gauntlet, especially since the defending team has the high ground. You're really going to have to take control of that area in order to really get some points on that board. I think we have seen 2 backlines, 1 on each team for this map, is definitely going to be even more so, because they will be putting on a lot of pressure from up on that high area.
Yeah, that top area is definitely the most important part. Getting clear of that wall is usually the biggest challenge that I'm looking for as a player. You know, how can I get whoever's there on the wall? It usually comes down to popping things like Inkjet, popping Storm up there. All that sort of stuff usually ends up clearing somebody, at least temporarily.
Mm-hmm. Bombs as well. Bombs will be incredibly helpful, especially since it is tower control.
Yes, yes, and Ray can also be used up there. A little bit weird to run a Ray up there, but hey, sometimes you just got to use what you have. But this time, it doesn't look like anyone's going to pop Ray. It looks like we have multiple missile users, though. That's what I think will be the key to clearing out that top.
Indeed, and we also have the Inkjet armor combo on the side of, what is this? Cherry Limeade? No, Squid Legends. Squid Legends have the Inkjet. Actually, both sides have an Inkjet of some sort, and we see a blob on the side of Cherry Limeade. That would be an interesting choice here.
Sniper going ahead and getting another one here. Already showing what they've done in this game, and you saw them last game absolutely shred some people. Trying to do so again, but the Inkjet is just too good. Just too good, and gonna take him down.
Getting up right where it should be and just taking out that Sniper is going to be a pretty good push past this first checkpoint for the time being. Although we do have some nice beacons still up there, so possibly a quick comeback for that charger. Ray is going to be coming out along with that blob, so it looks like they're not going to be able to get too far past this checkpoint. But ooh, that Inkjet going down right immediately, and armor is coming out for the side of Squid Legends.
Yeah, armor coming out. We do see this shot back behind the opponent, trying to find a flank, not able to do anything just yet. Mostly because the enemy was respawning, not really in their plat. But able to take a trade, not necessarily the best for as long as that took, but hey, better than nothing in the position that they were in, I'm at. And if you get something, it's better than nothing.
Absolutely. We do see 2 down for the side of both, so that definitely was a bit of a stall for time as they were able to respawn. They still have that bit of a lead there. Not a fantastic lead, but a lead nonetheless.
Hey, I mean,
and considering what
we saw a real short course last game.
I was just about to say, considering what we saw last time, that might be just what they need. We have to do a bit of a firefight. 2, maybe 3 members of Cherry Limeade going down, and this might be the foothold they need in order to get some more points on that board. Blob doing a good job of just keeping some pressure up on their plat, not letting them get too far in. Missiles coming out, and they're going to be making it to that second checkpoint there.
Yes, making that second checkpoint. Gonna go ahead and I think they're gonna clear this here pretty clear. It doesn't look like anybody can get it, and yes, they do clear it. IMAD, just and the Inkjet giving an opportunity potentially for even more points, and I think they're gonna do so. Yes, they at least got one.
Still steamrolling on, but the charger gonna say not today, good sir, and they're gonna be taking out the tower rider. Bubbles are coming out, and their jet does go down, but so far the rest of their members are still maintaining control of their plat area. That being said, the INZAP does go down, and so that might be the end of this particular push, at least for now.
Slosher just got one in there in the corner, IMAD. At least they're getting more picks out of it. They actually got 2, I believe. Yes, and
that's
then another
3.
cleanup. Yeah.
Just the charger left remaining. They are still maintaining that middle area and going to be pushing the tower right back into their area.
And we have ourselves another Inkjet. Let's see how many they can get out of this one. Looks like they got 1. Another one jumped out, which is beneficial, even if you can't necessarily get the kill. Getting someone to jump out. And then the teammates clean it up. I'm at, oh, this is going to be more points on the board for them. Question is more how many more than, so if they're going to. Looks like 2 this time, though.
They're in that home stretch, almost to that third checkpoint, not quite able to maintain it long enough before the team respawns, but still very impressive indeed. That is a substantial lead, and there's going to be a tough time for Cherry Limeade to come back from this.
Alright, we do see though finally Cherry Limeade did control mid. It's been a little while, they've been kind of on the defensive side, finally getting those picks, finally getting that area cleared out. And the question is, how fast can they get this plat moving with the tower? You know, with only a minute-ish remaining, that's not a lot of time. You really got 1, maybe 2 good shots at this before the game is over, or you're at least fighting with overtime, which is not ideal in tower control. Something like missiles or Ray, which they don't have Ray in this case, but you know, missiles and bomb rush are just absolutely not a great thing to deal with.
That being said, that was going to be 3 down for the side of Squid Legends. They're going to be putting the pedal to the metal in these last 30 seconds, with Squid Legends having to respawn here. Bubbles are still hanging about, causing some mischief, And Tower, or the Sniper, is just going to be riding Tower through that second checkpoint.
Slosher jumps down onto all 4 of them. Not a good situation. 1 point difference. Only 1 person alive on the side of Squid Legends.
1 point remaining with Squid Legends still in control of Tower. It's going to be... Oh! Wow.
The Squid Legends and Zep just stole it. They just said, my tower, thank you very much. And they got
just completely rode off into the sunset with it. Wow. Wow.
Hey, you know what? Whatever it takes to get the game, you know, we'll take a game. You know, that game could be the difference for them between Alpha Bracket and Beta Bracket, because in theory, if, let's say, that Cherry Limeade loses another match in their set, that game could be the make or break.
That is true. That is the beauty of a play all threes. It is point based, not necessarily set based. So if they, as you said, if they are able to hold on to that one match there, and then Cherry Limeade is able to lose one later on, that it might be the deciding factor.
Alrighty, iMan. I think we're going to take a short break, though, while we go ahead and get our second match together. I believe we are having Team Noodles and E in our next set here. But I'll get that confirmation here in just a moment. Stay tuned, everybody, for more SOS 65.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sink or Swim 65. It is I, Mad Gamer II, and once again joined by Kraken Mayor.
Hello, I'm Mad. We are back after a little delay.
Our next matchup is going to be Team Noodles versus EEEEE. Anything you can tell us about these teams?
Honestly, there isn't much that I know about them both. I know I've seen them around. I've seen people like Snack and 57747. I don't know actually how they pronounce 57,747 or if they get all the numbers. But I've seen these people around, but I don't know what sort of weaponry you play. And then Team Noodles, I do know Noodles because they're around IPL staff. But that's about it. That's really all I can tell you.
Sounds good. So it'll be a pleasant surprise for us all, and we'll be jumping into this next matchup. First match is Clam Blitz on Piranha Pit. That'll be an interesting matchup to be sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really nice one. It's nice and wide open, so I would love to see some brushes or something similar to that, maybe a roller class weapon. Those are just really nice to have as a brush main myself. I love to see them. And these really honestly, all three of these maps are really good for roller class weapons, especially the first and the last one. So I'm ready to see some fun. I'm really ready to see some fun weaponry on this one, and this is the time to do it. Especially you roller class fans. If anybody else is in round two, you better have played this one.
Well, I guess we have something to look forward to. Now, this first one, as you said, is going to be very flat, very open. You can have quite a wide variety of weapons. I know the small population love enjoying tent on this map, especially with the Clam Blitz, but we can also see some chargers and just some other regular shooters. Stingray is definitely a very viable option.
It definitely wouldn't be a surprise to see those weapons, as you mentioned. They are quite useful on this one.
Alright. We have a Jet Squelcher with the Stingray on the side of Noodles, and then we have double armor with the bubbles, and then on the side we have the Missile and Zap with the 96 armor, and then we have the Splash and the Blobber.
You are correct on that. Some fun weapons here on this one. Always fun to see a blob. We saw it in the last round with Pika there on I forget the map actually. The third game there. I remember the game number. Yes.
I believe that was Anchovy.
So that you're right on that one. Now I remember the tower control on Anchovy. But hey, we see a Forge. Not something you see too often, especially because Squeezer exists in this game. A weapon that was decently popular in Splat 1 reappears. Something you don't see too much in Splat 2, especially, as I mentioned, the Squeezer having the bubbles as well, and having that slightly better range and such. It's more of a higher skill cap, higher skill ceiling. Not that I'm saying anything bad about the Pro per se. So it's just kind of like the Pro is going to be more consistent, which is a very
true. The Squeezer, for all of its strength, it is a difficult weapon to master, so it makes sense you picking up the Pro here. But we do see Team Noodles getting this first. Oh wow, okay. Just went and dunked on them with the 17 points remaining and still a couple clams left. Wow, that was over in a blink of an eye. All those points just went bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, a solid 86-point push. That, in the first 2 minutes, I mean, effectively, let's be real, that push was like a minute and a half in itself. When you're getting that many clams and that basket just stays open forever. And you can see it finally getting Team Noodles cleared E here. Able to finally get some mid control, and having control of both ramps does set them up to have the clan economy in their favor and get these pushes and they get some picks. And that's 1. That's 2.
Very well done. Now, that being said, we do see the armor and the Stingray online, so they are going to be able to hold some sort of defense. Now, they have some clams to their name, but not a whole lot, and we do see that Stingray coming out. Yeah, they're going to need a heck ton of clams in order to really put a dent in the lead that they have here.
Yeah, definitely. That is true. You gotta get those ton of clams in to get that. And when they have at least 18 on this board, make that not that many, make that 5, because 2 members happen to go down with a combined total of 13 clams, one of those being Power Clam worth 10, and the other one just being a amount of 3. But Team Noodle's gonna go ahead and go for some more points. Gonna get stopped there. I believe that was the 96 on the top wall. I got that one.
Yes, indeed. That was very impressive. Considering the RNG from that range, yeah, that was very impressive indeed. That's going to be a 3 down for the side of Noodles, effectively stopping that push. And yeah, E is just going to be setting up to get back in, and we have 2 down on both sides actually. And so yeah, they're just going to be picking for clams and poking.
I love sometimes when we have that top-down view, you know, as production. Sometimes I'll switch to it personally, especially when we're talking about things like top control. This time the auto cam gave it to us, but just seeing the control, that level of control where that line of control was in the middle, it's just so nice to have occasionally. Say, all right, well, this team now has control of both ramps, but because of these multiple picks now that they've had to deal with, they kind of lost it. But the started to push up in the end. Zep said, no, I'm gonna hold my team, or help my team, and prevent any scores.
Well, that being said, that is going to be a delayed wipe with Team E's first points on the board. Quite a hefty amount of points at that. Going down to 70 with another jump in for 54. However, that is going to be 2 down, 3 down, 4 down. That's going to be a wipe. Still a good, decent amount of points, but with a minute left in the game, they still have a little bit of ways to go.
We have a couple players here trying to go to this right side. It looks like they're trying to stack the right side on this one and really maybe try to get one more push. They don't necessarily need to here with 30-ish seconds remaining. Getting to that basket just gives your opponent a power clam, potentially just maintaining this position. And but no, if you're gonna go ahead and get 2 down and get 1 jumping out, you might as well go ahead and score. You might be able to extend that lead with all the clams they have, and it looks like they're going to be able to.
Ooh, and they're 1 clam away from getting that knockout, and here we go. There's going to be Team Noodles for this first match. Very impressive play by Team Noodles here.
Yeah, good play here by Team Noodles. They did really well on getting themselves a really solid lead at the beginning and just kind of held up the entire time and just never looked back. But once they started to let the other team score, it wasn't the end of the world, though. And they managed to have good defense, and it really showed. Gotta have a good one, though, going into the next match.
Now, unlike Piranha Plant with the very flat and wide open, we're going to be going to Inkblot Art Academy, which is very much several tiered levels, as you would say. There's a lot of places to duck and hide, a lot of swimming about. It's going to be, I would say, a little bit more difficult for longer range weapons. But as you said, brushes and rollers are going to be having a good time here.
Yeah, they definitely do. I would say less so than Clams, Piranha, and Rainmaker Blackbelly. But it's still the field day. Those edges, you know, things like carbons, oh, they are nasty on those ledges on Plat. You have to stay back to back 50% of your Plat to your opponent. You know, something like a sniper can also do that as well, but even better. Carbons, I mean, because they just kill so fast and they just move so quickly. You're just not anticipating their movement sometimes, and then it's bop, you're dead, and you can't even respond to it.
Absolutely. If you're not paying attention to where they're at, they're going to be coming up behind you.
The big thing here is going to be maintaining paint, though, on the sides. If you can maintain paint on the sides, you can avoid those flanks. And occasionally, when you're just not watching, those flanks are just... That's a free triple half the time. Get a shot back behind your opponent, And if they're not getting a double or a triple, or at least with the team combined a double and a triple, you know, when they push up from the front side, that's pretty rare.
That is very true, especially since you have some added, I would say, terrain on the splat zones with that little block there to get up on the ledge on the left side from the drop. You really got to be paying attention and watching for that because, as you said, that flank could be detrimental.
And we have no roller class weapons. Aw, we didn't last game either, so I didn't necessarily expect one this game. But we do see that Bloblobber return. A really solid pick, getting up on those top mid. It can just devastate. Same thing to the Jet Squelcher for that matter. And no sniper rifle in this one.
Indeed. In fact, I don't think we have any change in their comps at all from the last match.
Yeah, I don't... I feel like there was one, but no, I don't think there's any. Maybe it was the Jet different? Either way, they're basically identical. They're very close.
They're going to be going for a pretty similar strat. Going to be running and gunning. 2 members of Team E, 3 members of Team E going down, and Team Noodles are just going to be holding on to the zone. That Junior is putting a lot of pressure onto their plat, putting in some bombs and some ledge camp in there. I see one of the members going up to put on some more pressure, but they do go down, and the armor is going to be coming out for the side of Team E.
E out here trying to hold W key, not able to do so thus far, able to get 1 member of Team Noodles down. Make that 2 members of Team Noodles here. Noob able to get that NZAP, or sorry, excuse me, that Junior that was trying to hold zone to the favor of Team Noodles. Not able to do so this time, but Team Noodles isn't out of it just yet by any means. They have plenty of specials coming out. I believe that was Armor and Bubbles on the right side of zone. That will help them cap the zone this time, I'm mad. And through the first minute and a half, pretty back and forth.
Quite so, quite so. Although we do see 2 members of E going down, so Blue is going to be holding on for a little bit longer. Missiles coming out. It is going to be a bit of a poking game again, as they're just trying to get some more ledging back into map control. Stingray is out on the right side there. If he's not careful, they might be able to track him down and take him out while he's Stingraying.
And that was a really good Bubbles, able to get another member of E, in parentheses, NA. And that lets them set up onto the opponent's plat and cap the zone. Again here, only 10 seconds-ish left on the penalty. Able to go ahead and probably get some points here, IMAD, and extend that lead. And it looks like they will do so.
Pro is just going ham on their plat here, not letting them out, or not allowing them to really drop and get close to zone. This armor is just going to solidify their hold right there, and down to the last 20 seconds, they're going to have to make a blitz for that zone if they want to take it back.
Bubbles coming in here, trying to hold the zone. 2 members go down on the side of Team Noodles, and that will be a cap for E. And it looks like a delayed wipe as the last ones fall to the members of E. And Jimby here and the rest of their team are going to try to push up and get control of map. But if you still look, this map is still pretty blue, even though they just got wiped.
That is true. They have not had a whole lot of time to really take back that map, and so they're going to be dropping from this left side, and then the armor's coming out. 2 members of Team E going down, and is going to be turning back over to Team Noodles. Right back to where we started.
Yeah. Yep, we got about a minute and a half left in this game. Still just a pretty solid penalty here. 30-point penalty is nothing to be upset about here on Team Noodles. 2 members do go down on E, and with a bomb rush and blob combo, it looks like another member of Team Noodles is going to go down, and that is a wipe actually on E, IMAD.
With only the pro remaining on the map, they're just going to be doing some more pain, but it is going to be turning back over to E, extending that penalty on the Team Noodles. And so there's going to be, once again, a fight for mid. The bubbles are coming out, though. And it's going to be tough to get, just the 96 left here. And they're going to be taken down pretty quickly.
And here, Team Noodles trying to go through their penalty yet again here. This time with only 45 seconds remaining on the regular clock. That is a very short amount of time. Little break here from the Forge. Need to take a quick moment, it looks like. They need to get a water break. And we're getting close to the end of this game, Imad. Can they take it? Can they stop it?
It is hovering on the edge here. It could go either way. Blob is putting in the effort trying to get that paint, but 2 members of Team E going down, and that's game.
Yes, so Team Noodles going to go ahead and take the set here 2-0. I believe we're going to play out. I'm trying to figure out here if we're playing out game 3 or if they're going to, just because this set's really behind here.
Ooh, that junior put in a lot of work, and the pro too. Just a lot of good plays on the side of Team Noodles here, putting in quite a bit of pressure and just really maintaining control of both the middle area and the enemy plat. Now, we do end up playing this third match where we're going to Rainmaker on Black Belly. It is a fun map, actually. I am not a fan of Black Belly in general, but because of the changes the Rainmaker has on this map, it is, one, a lot more open, not quite as flat as, say, Piranha Pit, but it is, I would say, in my opinion, a lot more fun to play on. We have several options for the Rainmaker to go to. It is a very long map, so with the combination of that and Rainmaker, there will be plenty of Stingrays to go around.
Stingray, I mean, we didn't see Stingray in the other matches, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see one. But, you know, it is also Rainmaker, so that also is a little bit of a different mode. We see a lot of missiles out through the first 2 games. It wouldn't surprise me if that's more what they stick with. It tends to be a little more versatile than Ray. Ray is like one sort of use. So, you know, they have their pros and cons. I like missiles because they're more versatile and give you that edge of where the opponents are. And on a map like this where it's super flank heavy, could be really useful sometimes just to kind of see, hey, there's somebody flanking over there or not. Hey, they're kind of sitting there on the plat near the pedestal. I can kind of push them all away and disturb them and rush it up. That's my favorite use for it there, is honestly more offensive than defensive.
That is true, that is true. And I will say on top of that, because of the more openness of Black Belly on this particular mode, you have a lot less obstacles for the missiles to catch on. So one, that will do some more damage to the opponents, but also allow you to get more map or inkage with your missiles than normal, I would say.
Yeah, and we'll find out soon enough, though. No more figuring out here, just guessing, because sometimes guessing is fun, but it's just more fun to see it, in my opinion. And here we are, Imad. We are gonna see this.
Ooh, we do see a brush coming out on the side of Team E. Not a whole lot of changes as Team Noodles. Actually, I take that back. They swapped out the junior for that other end zap.
We also have a Vink. We have a Vink there on the side of Team E. The vanilla brush. Yeah, something you don't see too often. Of course, my personal favorite and baby, so very biased to that one. You know, that's why I noticed that one right away. I went, ooh, Vink. And look at him go. But this is a really good map for it, and we kind of talked about before how the roller class weapons are really good on this one, and they're already showing that they can do a lot, already getting in pretty close, getting some damage on opponents, not able to kill any just yet, and for that matter, not going to get one this time. But they put a lot of pressure on them, a lot of their team to grab the Rainmaker and at least get a few points on the board.
Indeed, indeed. Up down to 60, and unfortunately 3 down as well. Brush tried to put on some plays there. It did not work out too well. I will say I do think the Brush would work out better than a standard roller just because of the maneuverability you have here. We have that Squelcher going up on that right side. Purple just really putting in the paint for the mid here. 2 more down once again. Actually 2 down for both sides. Missiles are coming up online.
Yeah,
really, it's just a...
Going back to the point you made there with the Brush versus roller, both of those have their benefits. Just depends more on the team you have around it. Like the team that Team Noodles has right now with all this paint, a roller could totally work, and you could use the edges around it. While Brush are better if you have a little less paint, because especially Vink and the other ink brushes can put a ton of paint down for itself even, so it doesn't necessarily need that team support, while roller needs that team support more so. So that, I think, is more the biggest factor. But multiple members going down on Team Noodles. This could potentially be a big push. Oh, sorry, no. Team Noodles was the one pushing, excuse me. So E here actually having a decent defense, keeping it down to 35. That is a super beatable push on this one. This is one of those maps that if you don't KO, you don't even feel close to safe.
Not at all. There is just so much room to maneuver and get one more point in before the end of the match. That brush coming in, just cleaning house, getting the map back for side of E, and they're going to be pushing in, trying to get that quad here. At least 3.
Yeah, multiple members down, and that's, I mean, look at this. They're all back in spawn on the side of Team Noodles. Potential here for a big push, but they just don't have the map going down compared to the side of Team Noodles. Team Noodles does have a... I would actually... The paint's pretty even, actually. For a second, I thought the paint was a little bit closer than it was, or a little bit further away than it was. Therefore, they're about the same here on this one, at least in terms of potential. But if team members of Team E keep going down, it doesn't matter if it, even on paint, the paint is going to continue to favor Team Noodles like it is now, and they're going to keep attempting to push.
Yes, indeed. Both of these team comps are very paint heavy, so it is makes sense that the turnaround for the paint coverage is so quick. But we do see Team Noodles trying to get up this ledge here, trying to push that Mega up that right side, but unfortunately the Mega does go down to the brush.
And another member goes down there, I don't think to the pop, but nonetheless went down, and that's what matters. Not exactly what kills them, it's just the fact that they are down. Go back to that respawn panel, Jet Squelcher. This brush trying to get another pick, unable to do so this time. Members on the side of Team E on the left side went down. You can see multiple members of Team Noodles controlling that Rainmaker, which of course is objective, and what matters most, Splashdown though, canceling some of those bubbles.
Very well played, very well played. Two picks for the Rainmaker there, but they do unfortunately go down to the remaining 2 members. It's going to be even fight, but with that Stingray coming out, less so with that tight quarters over on that right side. The pop is going to be going to Team E, and once again going down.
Looks like they just tried to force something. It wasn't necessarily the best time to do so. This is not, you know, a 1-point lead. This is a 30-point. There's not really a chance to push up that many points when there's 4 people shooting at you. You know, hey, it's worth the attempt. It's better than giving up, but I don't know if that was necessarily the best move. Jim B here, using those missiles in a very favorable way. It looked like they were calling out multiple members where they were before they went ahead and popped that missiles on all 4 of the members of Team Noodles. Able to actually get one out of that Limeade, which was even better than being able to just call out where they are.
Indeed, and as we are getting down to the last 10 seconds, it's going to be crucial in order to take down those members. Unfortunately, though, we do see the 2 for the C3. That's going to be a wipe, and unfortunately, that is going to be game.
Yeah, and that is game 3 in favor of Team Noodles. Able to take the sweep on this one. But tell you what, none of the games were a complete stomping or anything like that. But I think it was pretty clear that Team Noodles had the slight edge.
For sure, for sure. They had quite the team coordination and quite the paint coverage to match it. And as you said, Team E really put up a heck of a fight. They did not allow them to even come close to knocking it out. But yeah, as you said, just Team Noodles had that slight edge that allowed them to get that 3-0.
Alrighty, Limeade. I think we have ourselves just a very short break before another round coming right up here in SOS 65. See you guys in just a moment.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sink or Swim 65. It is I, Mad Gamer II, and once again joined by Kraken Mare.
Hello, hello, Mad Gamer II. so your dad's Mad Gamer II, or Mad Gamer I, right?
Yes, of course. Gotta carry on the lineage.
Yeah, carry it on. I wasn't ready for the second. It threw me off. I think you said it before. I don't know. My brain didn't catch it.
I always include in my intro. What do you mean?
I know. I'm losing my mind. I think so, but who knows? I can go back to the film later. Anywho, we're gonna have another one here with the Team E on the stream with Tuki as well. Man.
Gonna be a fun match. What can you tell us about these two teams other than what we've already seen?
Tuki is a really good team. They're probably the favorites in their group. Without looking at my list here of seeding, because I didn't do seeding. But looking at that, they're probably the #1 team in their group, which would surprise me. But we got to see E again here after a little bit of an issue with the round. So, hey, never hurts to see a team again, though.
Indeed. What kind of weapons can we see for Tuki here?
Oh, well, we'll just find out right now here, I'm at. I hate to be like, well, that's just the way we should go, but we might as well.
Well, the timing was certainly perfect. We have that... Ooh, we have a Clash Blaster coming out for the side of E, and then we also have on the opposite side that Nautilus. Ooh, we got Nautilus and a Charger. Interesting.
Mr. Z, I believe, is on Tuki, so they're gonna most likely always go, for the most part, go sniper rifle here. Absolutely shred their opponents. If you let Mr. Z get in a really good spot, you might as well just give him the free win and go home. Because it's not fair what Mr. Z can do to people. My memory's right. Mr. Z's been around a while, on things from teams back to Generation Z. I can at least recall them, if my memory's right, of their prior teams, and even back then, in early Looty seasons, able to do a lot of damage. And they're up there on that top left doing a ton right now.
Indeed. Charger is a strong weapon to be sure, and especially in the hands of a very skilled player. And we do see quite a bit of action going on in the enemy plat, not allowing them to get too much of a foothold as they take this checkpoint and the KO.
Bit of a quick one. But you know what? I'll tell you what. For E, this is definitely good experience. Anytime you can play a team better than you get a lot of experience off that. Really good here, especially because it's on stream. As much as it kind of sucks to say we lost on stream, a game here on stream, it's a lot of experience and good for VOD reviewing purposes. Not necessarily
Indeed.
that tournaments are the best for VOD reviewing, but it doesn't hurt to VOD review your set when you can.
Not at all. And it is no shame in losing to a skilled team such as Tuki here.
Yeah, a really skilled team for that matter in Tuki. You know, they have many times done well in SOS, usually making our top cut. So I believe they're in position this time to also make top cut. So we'll see if that is going to continue to be the case.
That being said, next up we have Splat Zones on Wahoo World. It is a bit of a mix for me. Sometimes I enjoy it, other times I don't, depending on what I like to play at the time. But it is a fun matchup to watch, to be sure. It's a bit of a staple, I think, in like the zones category. Certainly you see it come up in tournaments quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun one, too. It's the only non-square map. So
That is true.
Get something a little different with this one. We're not playing Minecraft anymore, unfortunately. We're playing a different game that has circles. But who's ever liked a game with circles? I only like games with squares. And some pretty standard picks here from both teams. The biggest one being that NZAP 89, though, a little bit different.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You swap it out from that Clash Blaster for the NZAP 89. Still maintaining the missiles, I believe, but slightly more paint coverage for the zones.
Missiles already coming out. Pretty good to have those as fast as you can. Able to at least put some paint on the zone, put some pressure on. They get behind two members. Unable to get one, though. There they go. They did get the one, though, in the end. The Inkjet, though, going to punish, make it an eye for an eye. Buns here, which I think is blue, I believe is what people have established. Did really good in that last game, trying to do even more damage here in such a quick time. But this time, they're just kind of playing a little more passively compared to the last game where they were in their opponent's spawn.
Yeah, because of this particular map, there isn't a whole lot, or you can't quite get as far up into this zone or the spawn as you can in the other match, but still, they're doing a pretty fantastic job of just locking out the opponents, keeping control of that, both the mid area and the zone, and we're going to be ticking down to the last 20 points.
Yeah, and here comes, oh, they're rushing for it, not able to do so anything this time, and that will be the game in favor of Tuki. And they're going to go ahead and take this set pretty quickly. But hey, you know what? All three games matter, man. I mean, we saw that in our first set. That even though you ended up losing the first two, doesn't mean you can at least take one off. We saw that with the Cherry Limeade and Squid Legends set.
Absolutely. For our third match, we're going to be having Rainmaker and Snapper Canal. This one is an interesting one. There's definitely a lot of options for the Rainmaker to be carried. And I think we can expect some Stingray to come out again.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's Rainmaker. If you don't, it's rare to see, or it's rare not to see one. But it's kind of fun when you don't have one. I love being like, no Ray! Woo! No GG Ray. But this map is really too good not to have a Ray. There's a lot of little tight areas when you're pushing hard. You know, like the street's really good. Or on, if you're the team pushing that left side there on that wall, the two walls, really good to have the Ray to support you on. But even if the opponents want to come on the slick, getting them on the slick's also a really good option. And
yes, indeed.
And Ray there. Well, they really can't move on slick. What are you gonna do? It's just take the L or fall back into an area that you have a little more place to move, which is really only the hills on this map.
Very true, very true. And on top of that, I would say that because it's so open, you have a good view of your opponents because it's a smaller map as well. You're less relying on your thermal ink in your map to get them from across the map, then you can just directly ray them right from your base.
Yeah, Ray from your base, oh man. Remember where you could Ray from behind the spawn shield? Or inside the spawn shield?
Ooh,
That was just broken.
that was some fun times.
Especially after the Stingray buff. Oh, pain. And remember, we're gonna have to go through some of those growing pains with Splat 3 coming up soon.
Yes.
Which is still exciting. Not that it isn't exciting, but we're gonna have some of those growing pains that we've already gone through here in S2, especially once we start getting those updates. But well, I'm pretty sure we'll get a pretty quick update once the game comes out, fixing at least some of the biggest problems, just like Splat 2 here had. But we see a Vink coming out for this one. You know, again.
And on top of that, for all this talk of Stingray, not a single Stingray on this map.
Hey, I can complain about that. I can complain about that.
We do see, I think Mr. Z is swapping out the charger for the Splatling remix, a favorable choice in my opinion. I am a bit biased in that regard, but we do see the wipe on the side of Team E, and the remix is just going to be pushing up the pedestal.
It's a really good spot here, but they got to get the fish. Like, it doesn't matter if you're pushed up if you don't have objective. They do finally grab the objective. Mr. Z using their range and just holding the Booyah here for pressure. The Rainmaker is going to push up really quickly, and that will be the end of that one. Would have loved to see a Team E victory on this one, but not gonna happen this time, my man.
Tis unfortunate, but GG's all around. And I do believe we'll be seeing Tuki once again, or again later in Top Cut.
Oh, there's like a 50-50 shot that we'll see Tuki in Top Cut. Though I would guess we're gonna avoid streaming them at least round 1, so they better start, they better at least get past round 1 here if they want to even have a shot to be on stream. You know, you don't want to stream the same teams over and over again when you can avoid it. You know, when it's unavoidable, it's unavoidable. But, or if you know a match is going to be really, really good and you just have to have it. But
very true, very true.
But
we're here for
even grand finals. There's like a 50-50 shot at that.
We're here for the entertainment value.
Yes. Hey, I had a good one with that one. As much as that was a short one there, it's still good to highlight some a very important team, so to say, here at SOS. They're here all the time. They usually make our top cut, so we appreciate Tuki. And E out here, though, putting up a pretty good effort. And, you know, it's nice to highlight someone different. We don't always see that team and those sort of players on the stream.
Indeed, and although they weren't able to take any of the matches, they had some pretty good plays in some of the matches as well.
Yeah, they really did have some really solid plays, especially in the Noodles one where it's a little more balanced, admittedly, in the match. And you could see that in those matches, like they gave it their all. The matches were close, and and that one too, you can see they gave it their all. They tried, and it just unfortunately Tuki is just way more experienced in this one.
Very true, very true.
All right, we do have here an advertisement here for SQSS before we go into our break. Sign up or else.
That is not a threat, that is a strong suggestion.
They know where I live. Please sign up. Please.
That will be on April 16th on the various times, 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST, and then 6 p.m. BST, and then 7 p.m. CST. And you can sign up for that at squidboards.com/battlefy.
Yeah, so sign up or else Krakenmare gets it. So it will be for those that are not able to play. We will be streamed right here on IPL. Here it is again this Saturday, April 16th. So sign up or else Krakenmare gets it. And I'm Krakenmare, might be slightly biased. So please help. Alrighty though, I think we're gonna take a short break here before we go into our top cut, and which we'll see and be able to tell you guys if Tuki made it for sure.
Sounds good, I can't wait. Welcome back everyone to Swimmer Sync 65. It is I, Mad Gamer the Second, and once again joined by Kraken Mare.
Hello, I'm Kraken Mare the 77th. Welcome back everyone to SOS 65. We got a good one here though, I'm mad.
Yes indeed, our first match of Top Cut, we have Legato versus Crown 9.
Yeah, this is the one where I think Crown 9 is a pickup. At least I haven't seen them, or they're really new at getting together. A lot of the players, though, have been around for quite a while. You know, I recognize people like Umbre, who is probably going to play Machine, or other sloshers. Vice, I recognize, not sure what they play anymore. Dan, I believe, plays things like CDS, sort of weaponry. And then, of course, Legato has been in multiple SOSs. And Low Inks as well. I believe they've also been around to Low Inks prior to now as well. So, got some teams that have been around for a while, and at least players that have been around a while.
Indeed, indeed, and I have to say, the Legato's team profile is very clever. I do appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. gotta do the music. Musical for sometimes literally. All right, let's go ahead and look at our first map here.
Now I believe this is a best of 5. It is not a play all, and our first matchup is going to be Tower Control Inkblot.
Yes, Tower Control Inkblot for our first one. It's I wouldn't say the best Tower Control by a mile and a half. I honestly, it's the third. It's, in my opinion, the worst mode on Inkblot. But, hey, I'm a brush and I can't reach the top of the tall towers very well. So, a little bit biased.
That is fair. That is fair. It is a tough matchup to be sure. Not only is it a smaller map, but the tower route is very windy. There is quite a few choke points that you have to get through in order to clear those checkpoints. And so it is rather difficult for just getting points on the board.
Yeah, it is very difficult to get, once you get to those checkpoints to get any more points on the board. And I tell you what, that second checkpoint is just so dangerous. It's so strong. And if you're able to stop them at that second checkpoint, you're usually able to find a win. But if you can get past, you get past it, you can find a win.
Yeah, it's like, I don't expect to see very high point values, but as you said, if you do get past that second point, that is a good guarantee, or at least a good chance of you pulling off that match.
I will say it is pretty nice in this one. The mid is a lot more open, you know, compared to when we saw in Splat Zones, where you have that big kind of high platform.
That is true.
Mid, or you want to call it, I've heard even people call it tower and mid, things like that. Like, that is a really strong position, while in this one, you don't have you have the stacks on the side, which are about the same height, maybe a smidge shorter, but the positioning isn't maybe quite as favorable. It's a very useful position to have, but that strong tower in center takes up a lot of the space and kind of breaks up the map, while with the stacks, you kind of feel like you have a big opening in the middle.
And rather than having one landmark to have control over, you now have 2, which can help, I guess, spread out the teams a bit more and not have much of a foothold, so to speak.
Yeah, that is very, very true. You know, spreads out the teams, which is alright. As long as you know how to work around it, it's not a big deal. The big thing, though, is when you cannot work around it, you're going to have lots of trouble.
Alright, our first matchup, we see the opposing, what is it, the Nautilus, there we go. We got a Nautilus, we got a Luna Blaster actually, is going to be interesting, as well as a roller. Is it the Flingza roller?
Yeah, Flingza roller, really good choice. It puts on a lot of paint, and for a roller especially, the only thing that really outpaints it in the roller class is probably the Vink, is the only thing that you can say I shouldn't say necessarily Vink, just Inkbrush in general. Is not the only thing in the entire roller class. You know, rollers are notorious for not putting paint down, and Flingza is the exception to that, especially once it got all those buffs since the beginning of the game.
That is very true. And with that, we're going to be actually a turnaround with 3 down for the side of Crown 9. And although they were able to get past that first checkpoint, it is going to be back in favor of Legato.
We see that Naughty going down again. Gonna see a trade from the Inkjet and the Luna. Well, actually the Inkjet didn't get the kill, got an assist, but nonetheless the team got an effective trade out of it, which is what matters. The big thing here to keep an eye on is this machine in the top left. And that's a double actually by the Junior, I believe, with the bomb. And if you control that top left, you control this checkpoint. And we talked about this being the biggest spot in it, and they just got wiped. Them being Crown 9, excuse me, in that top left, and you get wiped and lose that second checkpoint. That's probably going to be game. It's going to be very difficult for them to A, stop this, and B, push it back in 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, that is a lot of yellow paint going out right there, and they're already past the third checkpoint too, and although they have 2 members going down, that is a heck of a lead to take.
Very huge lead. That is a 90-point push, but we already have seen that Crown 9 can push themselves. They have already gotten to about that second checkpoint. The biggest thing is they're going to have to establish themselves in that top left like Legato was able to do. So we do have an Inkjet ready, we have armor ready, and we actually see those getting used right now, IMAD, to try to clear out this top.
All 4 specials for the side of Crown 9 online and active. That Luna is going to be pushing up with that bollard, putting some pressure and just trying to get them out of that side, but both the tower fighters go down. That's going to be leaving the Nautilus alone just to fend for himself in the mid.
Yeah, fending for themselves in mid, but managing to maintain some area, which matters here. Luna going to go ahead and cancel that splashdown, not getting destroyed this time by it, but going to get themselves destroyed in the end by the Nautilus, who goes down to the end zap, I believe, that time.
There's always a bigger fish. It's going to be a 2v2 and another trade over here in the corner. It's going to be a lot of just back and forth plays here in the middle. Not a whole lot of, I guess, foothold to maneuver for another push just yet. But we do see Legato slowly getting some map control in the mid area with this slosher pushing up.
You see him pushing up. Suction Bomb going to take down the machine this time. Good job here by the NZAP, getting 1 down. Going to try to push up with their team, though. The other team has armor, and they managed to get a couple picks up. Well, 1 pick and 1 jump out, IMAD, along with that pick that they got originally. A 3 down moment, and pushes the last one back to pop missiles in that top left alone.
Yes, indeed, they're making a push for that left side there, but we have the slosher machine and just a lot of strong defense, just keeping them from that second checkpoint for the time being. But we do see the slosher machine going down, so they are at a disadvantage man-wise, and the Inkjet is going to be coming out to put some pressure on that upper area.
Baller trying to get something together here, but the Inkjet of Legato going to go ahead and stop it, along with Tugster here on the Junior. And the rest of the team coming in to clean it up. And that will be a push over again for Crown 9. Not able to get very far. It really just touching the second checkpoint again.
Yes, indeed. Honestly, is pretty much as we were saying in the beginning of the match. It's like once they're able to get past the second checkpoint, or rather, it is very difficult to get past that second checkpoint here. And Crown 9 is just having a tough time trying to put together enough force to take over that top left there. We are down to the last 30 seconds of the match, and 1 member on both sides are down. Scratch out 2 members on the side of Legato. This might be what they need. In fact, they're going to have to really make an effort to push right here as we get down to the last 10 seconds.
Vice getting a nice shot on this with the Inkjet, but nobody's in that top left, sometimes called Bats. Or I've also just there's another name that just I'm fading, but finally they're getting up there, and that's what matters. Because this is how you push. You can see like around with this twist and turn path that you have mentioned previously. I mean, you basically get to 25 more or less for free after that second checkpoint. And Tugs are gonna rush the tower, IMAD, and they go ahead and get this game, and that will be a game 1 for Legato.
Very well played by both teams. While it was not a stomp by any means, they had the lead at the very beginning, but for the rest of the match, it was very back and forth, with both teams just touching the tower and get the back and forth points.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see in the game. You know, as much as Crown 9 was not able to get past that second checkpoint until right at the end. I mean, they kept pushing it, kept pushing it, kept pushing it. If they were able to get past that checkpoint, I mean, they had a really good shot at it. I mean, for the most part, they controlled it more than half the map most of the game. They just never were able to get past that strong checkpoint that we highlighted before the match even started.
Yes, indeed. If they had just a little bit more time, they might have been able to pull it off. Nonetheless, we're going to be moving on to Clamplets on Humpback Pump Track.
Yeah, Humpback Pump Track. What do you think are the key positions to hold on this one, Iman?
See, that is a tough one. It is honestly quite unusual terrain, not only with the ups and downs of the slopes and all that, but just the angles you can get to the basket on this particular map. You have both a flank on the right and the left you gotta watch, plus just straight down the middle. I would say just making or taking control of the bunker might be a good place to start.
Yeah, I think your opponent's bunker is probably the best position to make sure to maintain because that allows you to actually get to the basket. That's the most defensive position, but that window on the other side, if you can keep something long range off of it, which neither team really has anything super long range here, so it ends up not really being the biggest problem in this one. In something like zones, I'm sure we would have saw something a little bit longer range, something like an X-Blow would be great here. But, you know, controlling that window is useful because it gives you that flank option. You can see that Tri-Slosher actually up there. We'll go ahead and slide over to that Tri-Slosher. You know, was really pushing that side, and they could have flanked, and if nobody had saw it, that's a free double, effectively, for their team, or a free score, whatever they really want to elect to do.
Absolutely.
This time, not actually able to get anything. They got stalled, so they had to back up.
Now, they are going to be rushing the Inzap as they have the armor, but still able to stay alive. The Luna does go down, and this, Slosher finally being put to rest with just putting a lot of pressure on the bunker side there, as we were saying.
Vice here trying to find something just on that left side. We mentioned the bunker, how important it was, and there is one just sitting there, that junior Tugster over there just going, yeah, I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to sit here, and good luck.
With the junior sitting there, they're able to cover both the center route and also that left flank there, so the only option available, unless they can dislodge that junior, is that right flank. So it is a very strong position to be sure, and they're going to have to really do something about it if they're going to want to get into that basket.
Inkjet does go down there, Imad, on recall. Umbre able to take him down and manages. It looks like that junior is gone. And that is going to be a third pick, Imad, and the last one jumping out. So that will be a free score here for Crown 9. Well, it's not really a free score, just an open basket at that point is more accurate.
Very true, with the Inkjet coming out, just applying the pressure to keep the basket open a little bit longer. With some clams spawning right there, they're able to take it down to 40 with a 60-point gain. And then we have more clams coming in, taking it down to 17. Already a strong showing. But we do see the side of Legato respawning now, just trying to push them out. But will it be enough?
No! They get the KO, Imad! They got the KO! Crown 9 destroyed Legato in this one. I don't think there's any other way to put it. After Legato showing so strong in the tower control game, Crown 9, like, alright, you know what? No, it's our turn. Look at Vice there with 12 KA on the board in such a short game, for that matter.
Insane. Very well played by both teams, but as you said, Crown 9 just really coming out and dominating in that second half of the match there.
Is there really a second half of the match when it went that fast? I mean, it was really just the first half the entire time.
To be fair, anything could be 5.5, but yes, I see your point.
They had us in the first half, and that's all that happened. The rule on that one. But nonetheless, we've seen Legato's able to put up quite a lot against Crown 9. It was just probably a bad map mode. We saw that Vice absolutely did a lot of damage, so I don't expect that to repeat going into this next one, Imad, which is Splat Zones on the Reef.
Very so, very so. Splat Zones Reef is very different from Clamblitz Humpback Punch Rack. As you said, the Clams Humpback is quite unusual. Just Clams in general is a tough mode to begin with. It requires a lot of team coordination. I think on Humpback in particular, it can be rather difficult. But going into Zones the Reef, we may see a different story.
You are right on that. You're going to definitely probably see a different story here. A lot different game. You know, we could... It's a lot different. You're more about holding the middle than really pushing up and getting to your opponent. And this time, we get a lot more range coming out here with the Squeezer. Well, I guess not really that much more range compared to a Nautilus, but still, it's a little bit different.
We have... actually, no, we have a Soda Slosher and the Squeezer coming in here. And then a pretty similar comp on the side of Legato.
Hey, if you're comfortable with it and it's working for the most part, you know, why change? Obviously, it's been working if they got here, right? They're in alpha bracket, so pending some crazy things that we don't know about it with happening in the groups where like everyone, you know, just gave up on them, which I doubt. They've earned their spot here, and you know, even through that first game, we saw it for and so if it works, don't fix it.
And Vice just proving that point right here, taking out 3 of the members of Crown 9 and just going to be taking that lead here as well as the zone. Missiles are going to be coming out in opposition, but they are still going to be holding on to this mid area with the Bomb Rush.
Bomb Rush not going to get anybody right away, but they do manage to kind of hold the zones against the opposing Bomb Rush, which got picked off, I believe, actually by Umbre. We didn't get to see it on stream, and the Junior also went down. Umbre absolutely popping off here, holding for this hold. Soda Slosher, though, gonna go ahead and get 1, go ahead and get 2, and this is an opportunity for Crown 9 to push back.
With only Vice remaining, he's gonna just try to hold on to this bridge area as his team is respawning and jumping back in. They will lose the zone, but they still have quite a substantial lead to hold out for.
Vice trying to repeat from the last game, able to get an assist on this one, helping the teammates. Hey, nothing wrong with that. We are always glad to see people working together as a team to get those picks. You know, as much as a player, you always love to say, hey, guess what? I had a bunch of kills on the scoreboard, no assists to an extent. Unless you're a support player, then you want the assists. Which,
indeed,
wants an assist, but working with your team is the much more important thing here and getting those picks secured. Vice going to try to get some more with his inkjet, though.
Yeah, Vice is just doing a fantastic job of holding on to this bridge area. Even though their team has gone down several times and lost the zone, Vice has been able to just stay alive and keep that pressure going, not allowing them to really push past the bridge. And so they have a lot of foothold in order to get back into the zone area.
We see here this Flingza establishing this top mid. It's a really good spot for Flingza. You know, Flingza doesn't do a lot of damage at its far ranges, but it just puts down so much paint and pressure that you're afraid you're not going to go push that Flingza without feeling like you have a real opening to do so. And we see Legato trying to get this lead from the opponents, pushing up to their car. It's a really good position if you can establish it. It keeps them in their spawn little section there out of spawn, and they are going to be able to get the lead, but multiple members do go down, IMAD.
Vice just coming in with that inkjet, cleaning up the house, and yeah, we're going to see a delayed, not quite a delayed wipe, but 3 members have gone down, and so they're going to have to respawn and just get their specials back out to retake the zone.
Vice have that blocks a really good place for Nautilus to go up and down, because they can have that charge ready and just pop up and bam, blast you into tomorrow, specifically back into the respawn panel. And bam, another double though from the NZAP, but it doesn't matter if they're going to go ahead and go down with the rest of their teammate. And we got a pretty good stagnant match here with about a minute remaining.
Yeah, the zone has fought back several times so far, really adding up that penalty, unfortunately, but we do see Crown 9 coming back and control the zone, but Legato just coming, just contesting it all the way.
Umbre here, look at this shark by the try. Tries are really good on these ledges. If somebody decides to even get real close, that try can just go bam, bam, dead. And if you even try to back up a little bit, they might be able to get a burst bomb on you, depending on how much range and how fast they are to react to it.
Ooh, yes, I have been on the receiving end of one of those burst bombs. It is not a fun time.
The burst bomb, you gotta put all the sub power up and just snipe them with it. Who needs an E-leader when you have a burst bomb with basically E-leader in?
Just absolutely yeet it. We are down to the last 20 seconds of this match, but Legato is in control and still maintaining that lead. If they can hold on for just a couple more seconds. Vice goes down. That was a crucial pick with the amount of strong showing he's shown. That's 2 members for the side of Crown 9. They were able to take the zone, but Legato is coming in strong to take it right back.
That flick from the flames at the end, a good 90 degrees plus to get that guy in zone. Just ruined that man's day.
Indeed, indeed. That was a very close match. The points were close. It was back and forth almost the entire time. That was fantastic to watch, I must say.
Well, it was a really fun one to watch, especially after the first two, where there was really one team for the most part dominating or completely KO'd it. At least that one was very back and forth, and shows that we really have a good one here for stream, and we are going into a game 4 2-1. Hey, it's better than a 3-0. I love to see a 2-1 because it guarantees at least game 4, which is going to be Rainmaker Muscle Forge, and who knows, we might go to Tower Control Manta.
Absolutely. Rainmaker Muscle Forge. The strongest route, as far as I'm aware, is taking out that right side. While the middle area is a bit, or has got a good point value, it is a bit more risky.
Yeah, that point value is nice, but the big thing is you have to touch the ledge. If you are unable to touch the ledge, it does not matter if you go left at all. Sometimes jumping off that rail, elect to just kind of more tap the button, where you just get that little bit of air instead of pressing and holding. I see that a lot sometimes with different players of any skill level, where if they just tap it and kind of more drop, then kind of press and hold to see how far they can go. If you just kind of touch the edge, that's 26-ish points, and that's a lot more than the 50 or so, because you gain no points while you're on the rail on this map. So just moving on the rail isn't beneficial until you hit that landing near their spawn.
Indeed, indeed. I can expect to see some similar comps. The Tri-Slosher and the Roller will be coming back out because of the close quarters and ledges on this map, I believe. Of course, we will probably also be seeing the return of the Nautilus, as Vice is just really going to town out here.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot of damage in both games. It would not surprise me if they decide to continue, and they do. For the most part, Crown 9 has stayed more or less with the same things, only slight changes in both games.
Indeed, indeed. I think we have seen the return of the comp from the first match for the side of Crown 9, bringing out that Luna Blaster once again. We also have the N-Zap and the K-Shot for the extra paint coverage.
Tugster that's something you don't see with Junior very often. Even though they had the armor, you don't see a Junior just hold forward on a Nautilus to say, okay, I'm just gonna go get him. Like, not even no hesitation. Held forward from their own sponge. Oh, Tugster's gonna get tons of points here with the rest of the team.
Oh, this could be big. This could be huge. Well, K-Shot just able to hold on and stop them before they can get to the pedestal. That would have been KO right there.
The thing there is, if that Junior keeps holding forward, that Inkjet actually painted the pedestal right as they would have got that. Oh, Tugster! Oh, Tugster's going for it, and they got it! They got it!
Sneaky plays, just coming around the side without anyone realizing and getting that KO. Very well played.
Tugster just destroyed Crown 9's any hope they had. Just shredded it. Oh,
wow.
I saw them on the back of the camera there going up that ramp. I'm like, oh, and then just a grab and go. And just like that, the set's over.
Just exponentially cut short that match and taking the set for Legato. Very well done. Very well done.
Oh, well, I think our time is up.
I believe so. We are going to be handing it off to our next set of commentators after a short break, I believe.
Yes, we are. where can the people find you?
You can find me on both Twitch and Twitter at IMadGamerII. Where can the good people find you, my good sir?
You can find me at KrakenMare77. We're getting close to SOS 77. Just saying. And you can find me all around places. I exist. You're gonna see me on production the rest of the night, so you guys don't get to not deal with me. Just not my
You cannot escape the Kraken.
All right. We will see you all in a few moments. We're gonna have Vapor and Popgun on the mic, so he's gonna destroy everybody and then destroy him on the podcast in a few days, right?
Yeah, you don't want to miss it.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to SOS number 65. I am Popgun, joined by Vapor, and we got a doozy of a match for you. The boys with the logo. We know who the players of the boys are. It is not John, Brad, Mark, and Greg. It is actually Red Spy, Pulp, Boopy, and Banana, I believe, is the other one. I don't know if any of those players are old enough to have a Bud Light, but okay. Taking on Tuki, who we saw earlier on stream and has won SOS in the past. Haven't seen Tuki in a while, but I am already kind of annoyed knowing that our chat is just going to be spammed with the word Tuki from here on out.
Yeah, definitely. Tuki, we did see them earlier this stream. We've seen them win SOS in the past, as you said. Let's see how they can do against the boys. Here, starting off on Clan Blitz, Snapper Canal. Yeah,
and let's see. Okay, so the boys, who they actually are. First off, we're just going to refer to them by the IGNs that they're choosing to bring in here. Brad, Greg, John, and Mark. Even though we know who they actually are, I'm assuming we're going to see a Charger on the side of the boys from one of the players. Boopy, I believe, is just like a frontline Splattershots in-zap kind of player. And I already forgot which one they actually are. Guys, use your actual names. It makes things so much easier for commentators and everyone alike. For the side of Tuki, though, Buns. I guess Buns is what they go by now for real. They used to be going by Blue, BLU. We're going to see on a Nautilus, I'm assuming. And we're not going to see anything because one player said, nah, we're just going to DC at the very beginning. So we're just going to chill out for a minute while they go through that awkward. Are we going to actually show the match? No, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair. All right.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Game one. It's not going to mean anything because I don't know who that was that DC against Lorraine, possibly on the side of Tuki there.
It looks like it is Lorraine. K-Shot, there's Z, there's Sakura, and there's Buns. Yep, but Lorraine.
There we go. Problem solved there. I guess while we're waiting for shenanigans to kind of fill out here, not really much of a surprise. I guess I said Charger on the side of the boys, but that would be Pulp. Coming out with the Bamboo. I haven't really, these players have been pretty active in the scene for a good chunk of time now. It's just I haven't really been keeping an eye on all of them, so to speak. So it's good to see all these players back in after a little bit of an absence from SOS. And hopefully it's not too much of an absence to where the player that DC'd is not going to come back, because we'd like to see some actual Splatoon here.
Definitely. And we have a general idea on what we're going to see here. Not exactly what they're going to run, because they could definitely switch it up if they wanted to, since it was a lobby DC. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. But we could still see anything come out here.
Yeah, I mean, they DC'd in the lobby, and we're waiting for them to come back. You saw Z as Sussy. I don't know if they're talking about Mr. Z on the opposite side of the map, or who that player is actually supposed to be. Once again, just absolute thrill to be commentating players who just have no sense or reasoning for why they want to change their name nonstop, but so be it. Regardless, while we're waiting for this match to kind of get started here, we do want to just take a quick moment to say thank you for coming out and watching this one. You could be doing all kinds of things here on Wednesday night, probably studying for your big exam coming up in school. Maybe you're preparing for sports day coming up. All kinds of different things you'd be doing that you instead you're sitting here and you're watching this tournament here with us at IPL, and we appreciate that. Are we doing some what was that? I saw
Okay, Purdue in-house tournament. coming up in a few days, April 15th. Coming here at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time over at twitch.tv/Purdue or Splatoon at Purdue.
Kind of caught off guard there. I wasn't sure we were doing some promotion stuff. Hey, look at that. Splatoon at Purdue. Hey, I could probably go to that. I'm somewhat close to Splatoon or Purdue, even though it's been I'm not an actual student. I'm grinding out. Hey, if you are not a college student and you're looking for something else to do, or I guess if you are a college student, Squidboard Splat Series is going on this Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. CEST. Go to squidboards.com/battlefy to sign up for that. It's going to be a double elimination bracket, not the Swiss bracket that it was the last time around. Sign up or else. That is a very threatening statement. Don't worry about what the or else could be. If you just sign up, you don't have to worry about it. This is not an IPL event, however, is going to be streamed by IPL. So make sure you sign up for that.
Yeah. Or else. Don't be scared by that.
Or join the lobby again, or else. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get back into the action here. The player has rejoined the lobby. Now, everybody has to use, technically, I guess, doesn't have to use the same weapons since it was a lobby DC, but you saw the weapons everybody was using there is pretty much assumed nobody's really going to change anything crazy. Everybody's readied up. We're ready to go. It is semifinals here of Great White Bracket.
Yeah, I am definitely excited for this. Clan Blitz Snapper, two very good teams. They've made it this far through the tournament. Why would they not be good teams? Coming out pretty similar comps as we saw, if not the exact same comps. And Clan Blitz, Snapper Canal, tell us what they have, Pop Gun.
Well, you see what they have. You just look at the screen right here. A lot more paint on the side of the boys. A lot more shooter heavy, obviously, with the bamboo being like the pseudo anchor that you're working with here. Tuki going with a much more traditional kind of comp here. You got your mid lane Slayer, your front line Slayer. You got your support and a Charger. Charger can work out really well, but against all the aggression that the boys are coming out with, it's going to come down to can they keep Mr. Z safe up top there.
Definitely, for sure. Sakura coming up pretty quickly, able to find one pick onto Brad, and Buns pushing up with this Inkjet, trying to find another to open up a push for Tuki here early on. Unable to come up with a pick there, but Sakura building up that power clam, and here comes some points on the board for Tuki.
A little bit of reverse engineering there. Tuki doing the push with the junior leading the way and everybody else just kind of staying back and controlling mid there. But now they lose 3 players going down. Mr. Z comes around that right side, but they do get wiped in the process. 65 points remaining. Not a bad opening push. You want to get a little bit more, especially if you're going to sell your whole soul to get those points. So now you're just flipping the entire map over to the boys.
Yeah, definitely, but as Charger, it is a bit slow to hold that control. But incoming a push from the boys right now. Getting one power clam in, but going 3 down, leaving the bamboo last one alive and marked with that power clam.
Yeah, the bamboo holding on to that power clam like you mentioned, so everybody knows exactly where they are. Blue, or Buns, I should say, not wasted any time, immediately popping that basket again. Are they going to find a way to get some more points on here, though? Looks like somebody was trying to flank around that right side, some bubbles shutting down another player. So with 3 minutes left to go, not really anything given there, but 2 players immediately going down for Tuki. They're not getting a lot of value out of these pushes, and with the movement of the boys, it's just a matter of time before they can get in there and get the basket popped and do some more serious damage than what they did on their first push.
For sure. Missiles out. Suction Rush is out. Greg trying to push up a bit, but gets shut down. That's 2 down on the side of the boys right now, and the last 2 members are marked. So they are forced to back up, play it safe, allow their team to come in from respawn, and try to hold this control as much as they can.
a couple of good opportunities by the boys to get some pushes off there where they have man advantage. They got clams. There's just something's just kind of holding them back. Maybe a little bit of hesitation. Maybe the Charger getting into that snipe area, shutting down a little too many pushes. But now you see the Charger pushing up, popping the basket. But again, they don't have the man advantage to keep this going a little bit longer. 2v4 situation. The boys do have a power clam to work with. They got several power clams here, and they have somewhat map control. Brad trying to push up along the street there, not able to do anything, and they got so many clams right now. They're just not getting the splats to follow up. But there you go, 3 players immediately going down. This one's gonna hurt.
Yeah, definitely. And only the Nautilus from Tuki left alive in mid. The members of the boys taking lead. They're already up there. Tuki finding 1 pick, finding 2. Power clam jump, not close enough to get that power clam in. Only Bamboo left alive on the side of the boys, but damage has been done. That's going to be a lead in their favor.
Yeah, I think the real reason why that lead wasn't extended more was that Buns took down Pulp, or Brad, whatever name they're going by in this tournament. So that negated another one of those clams that could have jumped in, but still 31 remaining. But you see the response from Tuki. Everybody's swarming into the basket.
God.
Takes the lead, throwing so many power clams at the basket at once. And now they're just one more clam away from getting the KO right here. Lorraine thinking about it. Sakura coming around that right side. And everything gets shut down. The boys stay in it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, that is still a huge push, though. But the boys are already back, having this mid-control ready to go. 24 clams in their favor, building up a few specials. Armor, missiles. What else can come out from the boys right now? Power clams going into the basket? What else do you need right now?
Well, you need to get splats. As much as you want to pop the basket right here, you need to get splats. Instead, they're just trying to sell their souls right there to try to get the KO, which is what they kind of came close. If they could find a way to get that one more power clam in there. They've just got 5 remaining. But now, is this going to go to overtime? I don't think they have a mercy clam. They don't. So they sold all out on that one push. With 15 seconds remaining, probably should have recognized, hey, there's not really anything there. We don't have to go all in to try to get lead right now. We popped the basket, but it's just not there. Let's back up and try get into overtime. Instead, selling all the way out there, and Tuki, a very heavy back and forth battle, ultimately goes into their favor, finally getting the value they needed out of that last push.
Yeah, they found what they needed. They got everything they wanted together, and they just scored in all the clams that they possibly could, got the lead off it, enough to give them the win here. But with that win, let's head to game 2, Splat Zones on Piranha Pit.
Yeah, and this is the question of, if you're Tuki, I don't think you're going to change a whole lot. Maybe you might go with like a vanilla charger with Stingray as opposed to the Firefin, but Firefin works out really well here. We know Buns is not really going to change any. Like, Buns is capable of Squeezer, but Buns is just so good on that Nautilus, especially when you have a junior player like Sakura who can just lay all the paint down that you need. So you just kind of go to work right there. But if you're the boys, I mean, you can flex the Charger as well. Bamboo, while that is a good Bamboo map, Greg was really kind of struggling to get into the right kind of positions right there to be effective. But you still know that Bamboo can win those fights against that Nautilus. So I don't really know if we're going to see too many changes coming out from either side, to be honest with you. But then again, who knows? With players like Brad, Greg, and John, who knows what they're truly capable of?
Honestly, with these names, anything can happen. Anyways, Splatling map, you know? We could see Splatling, but Chargers, man.
You could see Splatling, but I'm willing to assume that we're not. Not that Mr. Z can't do Splatlings, as we saw earlier, but if you're gonna be that comfortable with Charger on that other map, might as well double down and use it here. Soda Slosher coming out from the side of the boys, so not the triple shooter that they brought out last time. A little bit more range, a little bit more arcing motion coming out from that Soda.
Yeah, and Soda controlling those ramps areas as well. Honestly, not bad either, but Z going down to a bomb here from Sakura, and Zone going quickly in favor of Tuki. Make that an early, effective quad.
Right, essentially a quad, even though the junior or the Soda Slosher are able to jump out right there. The benefit of that is the Soda does have the bomb, burst bomb rush that they can work with. Maybe they can coordinate with something else, but it goes down before they can use it. And now this armor is just going to have to wait because more players are going down from the side of the boys as well. This is starting to look pretty ugly here as Tuki has yet to lose a single player.
For sure, like the boys do have armor ready. They are almost at that burst rush as they have it now. 3 specials. Here comes 2 of them. Make that all 3 of them, but John going down. Effective trade there. And Brad trying to find 1 pick, but ends up getting shut down. 2v2 situation here on the field, but Z coming up with the pick onto Greg.
Yeah, the reason they were able to cap zone there, at least flip it into their favor for the time being, is that the 1 pick that they got was on Buns. Buns has just been a absolute nuisance for the side of the boys so far in this match. So as long as that Nautilus is up on the scene and they can kind of move around and get things doing with all of this map that they have to work with right here, it's going to be a problem for the boys. So taking care of Buns is key if they want to get back into this one.
You say that's for sure. Finding the junior and trying to find the charger as well. They end up getting both. Zap ends up going down to that K-shot actually. My bad. But Tuki still holding in here as the boys try to push right back in. Going 2 down though.
Yeah, there was an opportunity there for the boys. They got a couple of picks. They had the man advantage. But again, it's just that 1 player or 2 that's just kind of sharking around that right side that they can't really locate, that's able to just kind of stall everything out for the rest of the Tuki to come back in as Tuki regains control of the map yet again.
Yeah, zone neutralized here for a moment though, and Z with the Zap just holding this left zone with their life right now, trying not to die to that inkjet from Tuki. Almost getting the cap there. If they can find this cap, they'll add a few penalty points, and they find the cap. 2 members going down on the side of Tuki. Make that 3.
And finally, the boys able to get something going right there. But you got to recognize Mr. Z's getting back in action and looking for blood. Staying out in the open a little bit too long, getting Mr. Z make sure they get punished for it. So again, another opportunity by the boys to get something substantial going on the scoreboard gets negated just because they weren't really able to escape and get into the positions they needed to form a lockout quickly enough.
For sure, bombers from both sides trying to keep this zone neutral for Mr. Z right now. Finding this K-shot behind them in their useless area, able to get that pick. But losing zone, boys, holding the zone in their favor right now. But Z goes down to an unfortunate suction bomb.
That's the worst when you're so, especially as like an anchor player, you're so focused on one specific thing that you don't really notice that suction bomb that just landed right next to you. It happens all the time. But will it be enough to get the boys into control? That is a delayed wipe, essentially. Mr. Z's back into action and gets another pick. That's the same exact spot that Mr. Z got to pick the last time as well. That's just going to that steps and just knowing, hey, somebody's going to be right here. Let me just get that shot off. And that's just, again, stalling everything. But here you go. Now they got a legit opportunity. Everybody's back into action. They're whittled away their penalty points, and now they're threatening to take lead.
Yeah, and they find 1 with a suction bomb. That's another 3 down on the side of Tuki, leaving the K-shot last one alive. That's going to be a lead switch in favor of the boys now, though. And Tuki, regroup, build your specials. They find 1 pick. Now let's find another and keep it going down. Zone neutralized there for a moment. John trying to do their best and hold it. Going down, though.
What they got to do is flip the zone back into their favor before, okay, and they do. So this will go to overtime. And Splat Zone's Piranha Pit If they're going to find a way to win this one, this is going to be a very lengthy overtime. Missiles coming out now from Greg, and now with some missiles coming out from Tuki in response. But this is the last thing you want, is the zone to be stalled, because the timer is going to run out just like that. And the boys come back thanks to a great effort from John on the soda slosher, who was able to get a lot of splats there at the end and at critical moments to get the lead and tie this one back up at 1 apiece.
We're sure, as you say, John was there ready to go when John needed to be there and ready. Rainmaker Starfish main stage is next though. 1-1 in this set.
Yeah, and again, you look at Tuki's side, it was Blue having a fantastic game in their own right, or I guess let's just say Buns having a fantastic game with that Nautilus in a losing effort. So the Nautilus is working. Again, the strategy they have there was kind of working, and it just, I don't know, I'm still kind of surprised the boys found a way to win that one, because it looked like Tuki was in control for the vast majority of that game. It's just one push there from the boys just able to kind of secure it. I guess just getting the right splats at the right time. It's not getting more splats than your opponent. It's just getting the right splats at the time, at the right exact time. And I think that was just kind of the difference there in that game. And of course, with Rainmaker coming up, that's basically all it is about, is just getting the wipe at the right moment, and then the game's basically over. Rainmaker at main stage. Again, no, we're not really seeing Greg kind of doubling down, sticking with that bamboo last couple of games. Are they going to use it here with Rainmaker? I don't know. But that more speed that we're kind of seeing here, we're going to see a more offensive style coming out from the side of the boys and more of a defensive style coming out from the side of Tuki. The two different ways that you can play Rainmaker here. So that will be at least somewhat refreshing to see.
Yeah, definitely. And having a defensive style, as you're saying, you can be aggressive when you need to be, have your backline carrier or your slower weapon hold that Rainmaker and push it up with your team, be aggressive there. And you still have a backline on defense when you need to hold.
Yeah, that's really the key with like the defensive play style. Well, I mean, more of a defensive comp, especially in this quad shooter meta that we've found ourselves in until this game is dead and gone, I'm assuming. You want to build up a huge lead early. You want to try to get control. You want to get the pop. You want to get that Rainmaker, and you want to go fast so that you can play defense, mainly by keeping the Rainmaker on the enemy side of the map, but more so you have that Stingray. But they're not going to go with the Stingray. Instead, doubling down with the Fire Fin. So no real comp change coming out there. Still going to keep the Fire Fin. John going to upgrade to a little bit of a bigger slosher going with the Kinsa this time around. Yeah,
Fizzy Bombs, very strong, especially in this game, that's for sure. And Splashdown, could be a little bit underrated. It can definitely help you with that Rainmaker pop, but watch your right side, Sakura. Machine is coming.
One player going down on the side of the boys, and that's what we kind of talked about. Now, Mr. Z goes down. That must be coming from behind, unless Mr. Z was pushed way up there. So now here's a scary situation if you're Tuki, because the boys have complete control mid. They got the Rainmaker, and now they're starting to push up. I think that it's Bun's Inkjet that gets taken down before taking care of anybody. The Rainmaker ultimately does go down, but there is an opportunity to keep this push going.
Definitely, with these missiles as well from Brad, trying to hold this area. They do get the pop, though, which holds their opponent's pit a little bit longer, but Brad ends up getting taken out by Lorraine, opposing K-Shot, and pushing up into mid, trying to keep Greg backed off. Rainmaker resets. Very neutral game so far.
Nice push by the boys, but leaves a lot left to be desired there. Tuki now taking their first stab at trying to take the lead. The Rainmaker gets shut down along with everybody else. There's your wipe.
Jesus! The boys just clicked right there and opened up the door. Z is Sussy pushing up here a bit, pushing the score all the way down to 13 remaining. 3v3 situation right now, and the push might not be over yet.
Yeah, this is step one, is just clearing out all the weasels out of the hen house, just making sure that Rainmaker is going to reset. You don't want to repeat, like we saw in the last round, of Legato just kind of sneaking past. It will reset, but now this is not the situation you want to be in when you have the slower comp of the Charger and Nautilus on your side against the bit more faster comp on the enemy side. You don't want to be playing from behind. Trying to force something here without the man advantage is not going to work out. And again, 13 points remaining. That is huge on this map. You talk about any Rainmaker game, you get wiped, it's over. 13 points on this map, you have to get all the way up the ramp. That is a tall mountain to come back from for Tuki, especially when they're not getting the splats that they were getting in the last game.
Yeah, for sure, honestly. And all this pressure from the boys right now, still keeping up, but ends up going 3 down, Brad being the last one alive. Tuki trying to trap Brad, but Brad's able to get away here for a moment and jump out safely. Tuki does build up mid-control, but it is still going to be a rough ride back all the way to those 13 points.
Trying to force something right there, and able to quickly pop it up again, but again, they have to get all the way up that ramp and taking it a little bit the opposite way there. There's just not many routes that you can take to get up that ramp other than just going for it through that pit. And that just allows the boys to play a little bit safer defense, and it forces Tuki to be Tuki just being a little bit too aggressive on that push right there. The Rainmaker kind of leading the way instead of doing a little bit slower one. I think if you're going to get lead here with Tuki, you got to push the Rainmaker, die with it, be able to pop it, push it again, do a slow, drawn-out push, because just hitting a home run up that ramp is extremely difficult to do.
Yeah, but watch your back if you're the boys. Lorraine coming in and getting 2, but John able to clear that out. The Zap holding this Rainmaker, trying to stay alive, able to find 1, but going down to Buns from behind. Buns getting that splashdown cancel. And holding this mid-control, finding another. Bamboo last one alive. Here comes the Inkjet, going in for the quad. Not quite yet.
Awkward spot to pop that Inkjet, obviously going all out, but now they're not going to have that Inkjet to work with here to push up with this Rainmaker to try to get some splats here that they need in the enemy pit. They do have control of the street, trying to work around that left side. There is a route where you can go up to the snipe and then jump through the great area, but I don't think that's exactly the route they have in mind right now. They're just trying to get some splats, and again, they kind of burn their specials to get the wipe to begin with, so now they don't have them online ready to go to try to get lead right here. Mr. Z working around this right side, trying to find something in that pit, but everything is getting thrown. All of the subs getting thrown. Mr. Z says, nah, let me try looking back. Maybe I'll go here, but there's another suction bomb and yet another one and more missiles coming down. Just too much to fight through when the boys are just kind of standing back right there and not allowing themselves to get splat, not allowing themselves to get upset at the end right there. Good defense by the boys, giving Tuki nothing to work with.
Yeah, the boys just came out swinging this game, and they had control most of the game until the end, where they just held one spot on the map where Tuki has to go through. So they were just able to hold that area down.
And again, they're not really doing a good job of kind of neutralizing Tuki as well. We talked about the boys having a more offensive comp, Tuki having a more defensive one. It's hard to maximize your defensive comp that you have when you are so far behind after an early push right like that. It's almost like, oh man, I wish I could switch this out for a splash-o-matic or something like that, so I could help kind of be a little bit more offensive there. Still, Tuki coming out being not dominant game 1, but escaping game 1, looking very dominant in game 2 until they ultimately just gave up a big push right there. Boys able to recapture and maximize the momentum they gained in game 2 to dominate game 3. Now heading into game 4, Tuki needs to do something to recapture that momentum they had earlier in the set.
Yeah, and a good way to find that out is with Tower Control Sturgeon Shipyard. After all, you have your Charger, you have almost all the utilities you need to get the win right now in this game 4. It's just, can you execute it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a more favored Tuki kind of map mode that you would want to see here. Again, you can get Mr. Z kind of perched out in those right spots, and we've seen Mr. Z be very aggressive with that charger at times. If you could get up on the enemy, great with that charger and just kind of clear the way. This is a really good spot if you have an anchor to get into the enemy side of the map and be very effective with those greats up top there, as well as defensively here. So this could be a good situation for Tuki to tie this one up. No real changes this time around, but that is the Neo machine with point sensor and bomb rush. That's it's been a hot minute since we've seen that sucker be used.
Yeah, sensor and splat bomb rush. I honestly love the combat or love the weapon. It's a very good option, but it's just outclassed by a lot of other things right now, at least in current meta. Don't count it out though. Getting a trade at the top of this map there.
Well, it's outclassed by the Kinsa machine. It's the other variant. But again, if you want to work with the right teammates, sometimes being point censored, especially for like a charger or a bamboo, if you are point censored, it really helps out that other teammate that you have right there. Bomb rush, just regular splat bomb rush is a very good special, but none of those really matter when you're just getting bullied right now, which is Tuki picking up where they left off at the beginning of game 1, and Mr. Z opting to ride the tower using suction bomb rush, trying to clear the second checkpoint early in this match, avoiding the point sensor and the suction bomb, and they do. 14 ticks remaining. The tower rider does go down, and it looks like the boys able to clean it up, but still all the checkpoints gone in the first minute for Tuki.
Yeah, and this is a very huge push for Tuki right now. Very defensive comp as well, as we've been talking about, at least in the past game, and how that can work. But now Tuki just needs to hold this lead that they have. Still play aggressive, still don't let your guard down though.
And for the boys, it's just one checkpoint at a time. You don't have to get the lead back in one push. You just got to clear checkpoints. Only 2 on this map, mind you. But both of them slightly annoying to get across, especially with Sakura being the very aggressive junior player that they are, chasing the tower player out and recapturing mid in the process. Not able to get any splats. It doesn't matter. It's about capturing position. And this junior has been a... bit of an unorthodox playstyle we usually see from juniors, but that's probably how you're supposed to play that sucker in today's game.
Yeah, and you do what you can do, am I right? Z able to find a trade there on the NZAP effectively, and John on the machine unable to find a pick. But this is still a 2v2 situation here. Tuki on that tower, Lorraine able to find one, but their teammate goes down right behind them to the bamboo on the opponent's lead.
As we cross the halfway point now, Tuki with a 2 checkpoint lead, looking to get a KO possibly because they got a lot of map control. They have mid. They're starting to push up yet again. They have a lot of paint on the enemy pit right there. Now going to be firing some missiles, but they don't have man advantage anymore. But still, you want to keep that tower on the enemy side of the map. You want to keep bleeding that clock out right there, and you want to hold mid. As long as the tower's on the back side, you have mid, but now you have a lot of players going down. But because the tower is going to take a while and it's going to have to stall at that checkpoint, you can allow your charger player to get into position that they need to save that second checkpoint right there. But look how far up. It looks like somebody's off in that great area on the right. So the boys in a good position here. Oh, but this Z stalls the tower. Are they not going to clear this checkpoint because of that? They're not. What a clutch shot, and that saves so much.
Yeah, and Tuki comes out with 2 specials. Here comes that armor. Bomb Rush is ready for Z2, plus missiles on the K-Shot. There could be a totally another push here for Tuki, and we still have a minute left in this game.
And again, since they were able to hold on to that checkpoint just barely, it's like the boys haven't scored any points at all. Because if you don't clear a checkpoint, you have to go back and start all over on it. 1 minute left to go right now. Trades happening down, but again, the tower on the enemy side of the map. That means Tuki has control of mid. You got Buns pushed up here. This is the last player you want to see pushed up and feeling comfortable on your side of the map. Some point sensors going off here. As more points being added to the lead. Not enough to get the KO, but now just a little bit more insurance points, as you're now basically put in a situation with 35 points or seconds remaining. You got 2 checkpoints you got to clear, basically in a situation where you're only going to get 1 push left with the tower.
Yeah, and with the Zap having armor, popping it a little bit early, I suppose, but all the members of the boys are already pushed up.
They are, and that's what kind of negated them last time, because Mr. Z was able to kill the tower away from it, but they take care of the Charger player, and here you go. This is your final opportunity to get the lead back. John pushed up really far up in there, able to go down, but 2 more players going down on the side of the boys. Everybody just collapsing on tower. Not going to be enough. Just too big of a hill to overcome right there. But man, you think about, if Tuki doesn't save that checkpoint with about 1:30 left to go, that push from the boys goes a little bit deeper. That final push right there. It's the little moments like that that make a huge difference over the course of the long run of the game.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And every point matters, as we saw that Tuki was able to clear that second checkpoint early on too, which allowed them to play a little bit more comfortable, play a little bit more back in how they want to play the game.
We just want to give a quick shout out. Thank you to Prochara for the raid, and welcome in all the raiders from the Prochara stream. And we hope you guys will stick around for a little bit. We are in semifinals of this tournament, so just after this set, we're going to immediately hop into grand finals of this tournament. And right now, we're going to give you a Game 5 Clam Blitz at Mako Mart. If you're going to have a back and forth match in Game 1, which is what we saw, a lot of back and forth in that Game 1 Clam Blitz Snapper Canal, on a map like Mako Mart, where you can just wave to the enemy basket from your own basket. They're so close to each other. We're going to see a lot of scoring right in here. A lot of scoring, just because both teams had a lot of difficulty defending their own baskets last time. This is a high scoring map for sure.
Yeah, I expect a lot of points, and a lot of points in one push, to be exact. If you get wiped, you could basically be stuck in your spawn for a good minute or until the game is over. Like, this map is so small, you could basically go up to your opponent's spawn barrier.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit too behind the basket to go all the way up there, but without the baskets are just so close to each other in mid. It's not, it's not the most fun map to play in personally for Clam Blitz, but it's extremely entertaining to watch on stream. That is for sure. Game 5, winner gets to move on to grand finals. I'm assuming the opponent's already been determined for that. Loser gets to have a date with somebody in the third place match that you will not see on stream. And finally, the last slosher we're going to see, John, the world tour of sloshers, try making its appearance here at Mako Mart.
Yeah, and running that Tri-Slosher Nouveau as well. Bomb Rain on a small map, it could definitely work out. Greg with a little bit of an early missile here from a Bamboo. 2 down on each side early on, and we're not even 30 seconds into this game. Boys going 3 down quickly. Lorraine from Tuki pushing up, able to get first blood here.
Why, though? I don't understand. Nobody else was really alive. They don't really have any clams with. So now they just give a free mercy claim to the enemy team and lose some players in the process. So that's a great situation for the boys. They should be saying thank you. The only problem here is that you got the Charger player pushed up and in a good position. But if you can just chase this player back with quad missiles being locked onto that player, not really doing anything, because all Z has to do is just back up and move forward, because they don't have to dodge any of their teammates who are also missiled right there. But man, yeah, kind of avoided one right there. Tuki going in, scoring the basket, not getting anything out of it, and kind of got away with it.
Yeah, K-Shot from Tuki trying to push Greg out very, very early, able to come up with the trade there. Tuki does have map control right now, though, and the boys just trying to find a way to move back into mid.
Greg already with 3 missiles being spawned so far. 5 missiles so far completely from the boys. Trying to be effective with it. I mean, they're firing missiles, but they're not really working with the missiles, so they're just firing them. Again, all the missiles locked on the charger, that doesn't really do anything. You have to target other teammates. It's just one missile will force you to move, but if I have to dodge my teammates as well, that's where the real hecticness comes into play. 2 more players going down from the side of the boys as Tuki gathers up all the claims they need to get a serious push going off this time.
Yep, 12 claims in the favor of Tuki compared to the 7 on the side of the boys. And with the boys not having any map control right now, this could definitely go downhill if Tuki can find 1 or 2 picks. As they find 2 right there.
And more missiles coming out, but again, nothing really being combined with the missiles, so it doesn't necessarily matter right now. 1 more player going down from Tuki. Buns up in a position. Surely they know where Buns is right here. Able to pop an inkjet, trying to get a splat that they can work with. There's 1. Should be 2 right here. Oh! Z is sussy, able to get the splat before armor completely wraps around Buns right there, so that will keep things going a little bit longer. But I'm surprised. We're going to be crossing the 2-minute mark here, and we've only thrown 1 power clam in a basket right now.
Yeah, these teams are being so passive right now. Like, they just want to play for life. If you get wiped, it can be over, but here comes 1 power clam in from Tuki, and a little bit more follow-up, but that is not a lot.
Not really. Well, still, they got under 60 right there. And you know what? With how they're playing defensively, that could be enough to win the game right now.
Yeah.
Because right now, the boys are really struggling to get across mid. They keep firing these missiles, but they're not really combining the missiles with any kind of movement or other specials that they're working with right now. But if they can find... Now they're really pushed up.
Oh,
and
my.
John working around this right side, trying to make a power claim. They do get one, and John staying alive could be critical, able to take care of Mr. Z. Can they find a way to get lead right here? I think they got enough claims to do it, Vapor.
Yeah, they definitely have enough. They do take the lead, but Lorraine getting distracted by the 1 player in mid. Zia Sussy is still there, throwing a few more clams in, finally being taken out by Z, but a power clam able to go in, reset the basket timer. And Tuki, no control in mid, less than a minute left in this game.
The boys, whenever they've been making pushes in this set, they go for a home run or nothing, and that's your home run push they need right now. Can they hold on, though, with 40 seconds left to go? Another inkjet popped by Buns. Can they take advantage of this? Look at your charger pushing way up here, able to pop the basket, and they do have a lot of clamps to follow up with. Missiles coming out, but man advantage in the side of the defending team, the boys, so it looks like they're just going to back off and say, let's hold on to these lambda clams that we got here. We can go to overtime. Looks like they do have a power clam. They don't have a mercy clam to work with, but they do have enough to at least get this to overtime and try to make something happen.
Yeah, and getting pick after pick is what they need. There's 2 down. Sagura going down, though. That is your power clam holder. Buns is able to get the power clam in. That's going to be a wipe on Tuki and the boys coming up with this home run victory.
The boys are moving on to grand finals of SOS number 65, and all 3 wins that the boys got in game 2, 3, and 5 all came off of 1 push, essentially. 1 push in game 2. They just had 1 push where they just ate up a lot of points at the end right there. In game 3, they had 1 huge push with the Rainmaker and was able to just bleed the clock out on that. And right here in Clam Blitz, again with Tuki having control of the map for the vast majority of the game, all it took was 1 push for the boys to go from 100 remaining to 21 remaining, and it was just over from there. The boys, man, the saying is, if there's time on the clock, you can still win the game. Boys said, we just have to play better than the other team for 15 seconds, and that's all we need.
And that's all you really do need in Splatoon in general, even. But the boys coming up, going to your grand finals, getting a 3-2 win over Tuki in your semis.
And that's, and we do have the, we already got the team. It was a 3-0 on the opposite side of the bracket, so we can just go ahead and get rolling into that. I guess we could raid off some some things here while we wait, but we don't need to take a break. Is that right? Can we just keep going?
Yeah, well, let's just keep going.
Let's keep going.
We have nothing else to lose here, so let's talk about Purdue really quickly, as they have an in-house tournament coming up this Friday. Yes, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You can find that over at twitch.tv/Splatoon at Purdue.
Hey, you know somebody who used to go to Purdue has recently graduated. The Magic 8 Ball, who's going to be hosting SQUID boards coming up later this weekend on Saturday as well. So make sure you sign up for that, or else. 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Central Europe Standard Time, I believe is what CEST it is. All of Europe's asleep right now. They're not hearing me butcher that. Squidboards.com/Battle5 if you want to sign up your team for that. Double elimination, open invite tournament. We got too many skill cap tournaments in this scene. Oh, well, guess what? This one is an open invite tournament, dummy, so sign up for it. Support your open invite tournaments. It is not going to be run by IPL, however, it is going to be streamed by IPL. Which is great. We don't have to do any of the work, but we can still show it. That's the best kind of tournaments we have, in my opinion, here at IPL.
Definitely. And do we have anything else going on? I'm trying to find the doc really quickly.
Riptide. Sign up for Riptide.
Yes, Riptide. Alright. But Grand Finals coming up here. The boys against
Panko Fan Club. Another thing I'm too old to understand the concept of. What is Panko? The logo is a cat on a laptop. So the voice in my head says it's a coating for food. So there you go. Panko Fan Club. Now, who are the players for Panko Fan Club? That's all you really care about. Link, Luke, Bussy, FT Win, Peluca, and King. Is that the King formerly of Operation Paradox? If they come out with a C-Jet and get 20 Stingrays in a match, that will answer my question. Link here. Is this the same Link that was on Lois? I believe so.
I think so.
Yes, the team that won Low Ink in January earlier this year. Link, very crazy. Also won Div 6, if anybody cares about that. That was forever ago. Slosher player going along with that. But yeah, Panko Fan Club, I don't think has dropped a singular game so far in this tournament. But they have not played the boys. They have not run across this team yet.
Wow. So this is going to be a very interesting and exciting grand finals, to say the least. Well,
it better be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no guarantee for that. Panko Fan Club, let's see, 3, 6, 9. Oh, no. Jet Gang was able to take one game off of them in the pool stage. At least as far as Great White is concerned, they're currently 6-0. The boys, however, coming off a hype Game 5 win. And this is going to be a best-of-7 set. Game 1 going to be Splat Zones at Anchovy Games. If it's the King I'm thinking of, I think we're going to see a lot of specials getting flung from probably a V-Jet, I would take a guess. And I don't think Link is in right now. Link was on the roster, but Link is currently not in the set. It's Bussy, FT Win, Peluca, and Luke on the side of Panko.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Bussy FTW is Rhythm, I think.
Splat the Kid is...
Yeah.
It's Splat the Kid, Bussy, whatever. But I mean, if they wanted us to call them Rhythm, they would have just named themselves Rhythm. That would be the simple thing to do. Regardless, as commentators just asked to guess who is who nowadays, we're going Game 1. No comp changes or no real surprises right there, and that is the King I am thinking of coming out with the V-Jets. That might be Rhythm coming out there with the Kinsa machine.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. But this looks pretty neutral. Basically what you expect to see in the current meta, to be honest. But Zone quickly going in favor of Panko fan club, and just very passive, just right off the bat.
Well, I mean, you're going to see a lot of specials kind of get flung away, and they're going to wait for those specials to work with. Kinsa Machine player able to go down right there on the side of Panko as we start to see Zone basically kind of stalled out from both sides. The boys not really interested in pushing too far up right now. So we're just seeing a little bit of a neutral game going out right here. Game 1, both teams just kind of taking an opportunity to fill each other out.
Yeah, and especially in the best of 7, you do have that time to feel each other out as well. Bussy able to find one and getting 2 more assists onto that effective 3 down, and the Machine being last one alive on the side of the boys. I have no idea where they're at, but they're backed up somewhere.
Yeah, that splashdown able to give a couple assists on players up top right there. The splashdown physics are. I know it's like a box. It's not like an exact circle like it would make you think with the game. But still, Panko Fan Club able... Oh, there's some missiles up top there coming down on you. Raining down from King, as that's going to be kind of critical. They're not going to have that extra set of missiles to work with. The Insat player goes down before they can pop armor for the side of the boys, and they don't really have anything to work with right here. This is looking like a KO situation, as there's just no way for the boys to get out of their own side of the map.
Yeah, the boys are just staggering at this point as they go to that zone, unable to get there in time. Panko Fan Club running away after a very slow start with game number 1.
And are people in chat trying to tell us how to say the word... I don't even feel comfortable saying this word anymore, to be honest with you. I'm just going to call that player the Kinsa Machine going forward. That's weird. Rainmaker Black Belly Skate Park as Panko Fan Club has now extended their win streak in Great White to 7-0. And you know that game was kind of bad. That game had a neutral opening. There was still some opportunities there for the boys to get something going right there. They just kind of struggled dealing with the specials that were being flung at them, and now they have a DC coming out on their side, so we're gonna have a little bit of delay here. But still, Rainmaker Black Belly Skate Park eventually will be coming up.
Yeah, Rainmaker Black Belly, infamous for being anyone's game at the end of the day. If there's time on the clock, use it to your advantage, and that's basically Black Belly Rainmaker at its finest.
Well, yeah. And we get a lot of people who complain, I'm tired of seeing Black Belly Rainmaker Skate Park. Well, yeah, there's like only 5 total maps you can kind of use in competitive for Rainmaker. As actually, I guess what we're kind of seeing here is few people showing their hands there. Greg coming off of Bamboo, instead going with the C-Jet here. I wonder if they're actually going to use that in the game. Because technically you don't have to use the weapon. The DC occurred in the lobby, so you don't have to use the same weapon right now. You're not forced to keep the same weapon that you have right now. As we get the quick KO, much appreciated from Panko Fan Club. Man, Panko must be really, really happy with what they're seeing right here out of their own fan club. But we'll get that player back in and we'll play the actual set. But if we do, I guess that is a talking point. Coming off of the Bamboo, which has been doing a good job of firing missiles. So if Greg's just going to stick with the C-Jet this time around, I guess it kind of makes sense. C-Jet's obviously somewhat broken on this map mode.
Yeah, C-Jet is just good, flat out. Unless you know how to just counter C-Jet or become a master at doing something to win this game consistently. There's another lobby DC, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what happens here? This isn't my tournament, so I don't really know. I'm not familiar with what the DC rules is, but this is the second time in this set where somebody's DC'd in the lobby. It's the same exact player, isn't it? Brad? Yeah, Brad having...
Brad.
Poor Brad dealing with something going on here. And I don't know, is this... the That's the second straight time. Does this count or not? It's a question. Commentators doesn't leave. But yeah, this is the second time it's happened. Both times we're in the lobby. I don't know how many lobby replays you get, but regardless, they're not going to play it out anyways. I mean, even if it was counting, that'd be difficult to win a 3v4 anyways. So another pop, and hopefully it's just like a storm passing through, and it's not really something that's going to like force Brad out for this entire set, because I don't think they have a sub. I think it's just the boys is just the 4 players right there. So whatever's going on with poor Brad, hopefully we can get it figured out here.
Yeah. Hopefully we can see some more Brad action in some grand final set here at SOS 65.
That's what the fans want to see.
Yeah.
They came here for the Brad action.
I'm a fan. I want Brad, guys.
Well, if we don't get Brad, we're gonna have things are gonna get kind of weird here, for sure. Because again, they don't have a sub, so we're gonna take a minute to make sure Brad can get back in, figure out what the official ruling for all this stuff is. It looks like Brad is gonna take time to reset their router, so we're gonna have a little bit of a delay here. So once again, as we're waiting for this set to come in, maybe you were watching ProChar's stream a little bit earlier. We understand it's getting a little late in the night. We know you guys need to get up and go to school early tomorrow. Maybe you need to go to work. Maybe you got that 9 to 5 job. Maybe you who knows? Whatever it is right now, we appreciate you coming out. It's late on a school night. You might be snuggling up in bed. Maybe you looked at the commentary list and said, "Oh, Pop Gun's commentating tonight. That dude will put me to sleep for sure." You're all nice and snuggly in your bed, just watching this very relaxing tournament. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah. We all appreciate it. Unless.
You know what else we appreciate? Ethernet cords. Those and Ethernet adapters. We definitely appreciate those. I mean, sometimes connection issues are just completely out of your control. It happens, but luckily we're just getting a router reset. We can go back in and play some real Splatoon. And we appreciate all you guys spending your points for hype. whatever that does. I'm still trying to get channel point. Every time I predict something with channel points, especially with IPL, I'm usually wrong most of the time. And then whoever wins and gets all my channel points will go on Twitter and be like, "Oh, Popgun voted for us to lose. He hates us. We'll show him." It's like, so I haven't been voting for a while. I'm sitting at a cool 8.5k. How many points do you got, Vapor? So we're just waiting here.
I have 8.6k actually.
What? You been gambling?
Not really.
Not
much. Not much in the past month.
I see. You're just kind of a sit and accumulate points the boring way.
Yeah. I mean, we're here. We have some hype going on.
We're here. Yeah, there is a lot of hype being built up in chat. Maybe so much hype that we can get Brad back into the lobby and we can play. Just a quick recap. We are in grand finals of SOS 65. We've had a connection issue with a player DC in the lobby 2 straight times here in game 2. It's made things a little awkward. It stretched things out a little bit, but hey, that's what happens. Welcome to competitive Splatoon. Everything is played online, and we have awkward issues like this from time to time. We're not strangers to this. We're very used to this. We've all been here before. We can act like we've been here before. Just get the players back in, and we'll be going. Game 2 will be Rainmaker at Black Belly Skate Park momentarily.
Yeah, and early on, let's recap this first game really quickly. Spot Zone's Anchovy. Let's give a quick recap. The boys came out firing, throwing some specials, but Panko was just too much. They played smart and made the boys stagger out a bit.
I mean, yeah, game one. Hold on. We're getting word from our producer that you guys cannot hear. It looks like game two, since it was a DC that happened twice. Technically, game two does go to Panko, which makes sense. You only get one replay, so they DC twice for that game. So for the sake of speeding up this grand finals, Panko does automatically win game number 2. As we still wait for Brad to come back in, so we will be moving on to game 3, Tower Control at Art Academy. So, that's kind of what I was expecting. Again, like lobby DCs are a little bit different from other DCs, but when you're constantly having issues like that, and you can't really stay into the lobby, it just drags down the whole tournament. So that's why those rules are in place. But we will be moving on to game 3, Tower Control and Art Academy.
Yeah, and Tower Control Art Academy, it can still go either way. One checkpoint at a time is definitely what you want to do in like your best world that you ever want type thing.
The best world you ever want. We got another update for you guys. It looks like the boys are trying to get a sub. So maybe the connection issue is a little too much right there. And this is where you separate the big boy commentators from the not so good ones. The ones that can just make up crap to talk about for seemingly forever, while the tournament just gets stalled right now. So, SQUID Splat Series. Sign up for else. It's this Saturday, April the 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Central Europe Standard Time. Go to squidboards.com/battlefy. It's going to be streamed by IPL. It is not going to be, we're not running the event, we're just streaming it here.
Yeah. I mean, what could go wrong with Squid Boards unless you don't sign up? Like, if you don't sign up, something's going to happen. But sign up so nothing happens to you, nothing wrong happens to you.
If you have an Ethernet cord, definitely sign up. We would love for you guys to sign up. We could not stress that enough. That would be crazy awesome. Hey, since I'm here, might as well plug Low Ink, and I guess we can start yelling at people. I don't understand why you guys wait till the absolute last minute to sign up for Low Ink. Now, I'm looking at people in chat. I know the vast majority of you are banned from Low Ink. I get that. That doesn't mean you can't do your part. You can't spread the love for Low Ink. You can't just go out and help recruit. Low Ink is a good tournament for everybody to be involved in. And I'm getting word. We can stop dragging this nonsense out. Brad is back in the building, baby. And so far has not left the lobby. We're going on to game 3. Tower Control at Art Academy. It looks like they did not get a sub. It looks like old Brad is back and ready to go.
Yeah, let's go Brad. I'm excited to see some more Brad action because what could go wrong with the name Brad? It's just cool.
Who knows? Hopefully we can just get through this. Tower Control Art Academy. Panko fan club up 2-0 over the boys. Trying to stretch their lead out and possibly get a sweep. They're now technically 8-0 so far in this bracket here. Greg was going to go with C-Jet that last game, but now back to Tower Control, opting to go with that Bamboo. John going to the Soda Slosher. Says, hey, I haven't used this Slosher in a while. Let's go ahead and bust it out and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, and C-Jet sticking on the side of Panko Fan Club. Quick array coming out and the quick armor. Z is sussy here, pushing up in mid with Brad. Holding this map control, but with 2 dropping, they're able to find a trade there too, down on each side of the field, and very neutral game to start us off in the first 30 seconds.
Well, I don't really know what the boys were trying to accomplish right there. You just kind of had a couple players just kind of wandering around, ultimately I think they were just trying to converge on the enemy step at one point to get some splats, but ultimately Brad coming back in. Brad fresh and ready to go, able to get a splat on one player. Now starting to push up this left side with some missiles fired onto that Stingray, so that'll slow down that Stingray a little bit. Can they clear this first checkpoint? It's not the most difficult one in the world to get across, but you want to clear it early just so you don't have to worry about it. But now 2 more players going down. Panko Fan Club starting to swarm all over, stopping this tower and capturing mid in the process.
Yeah. And you say that as clear as it can be. Stingray coming out, try to clear out this Slosher on this left side. John able to go down to this K-Machine. The K-Machine pushing up a bit, trying to get into that Bats area, clear it out as fast as you can. And that's where you want to be set up if you're Panko Fan Club. Early checkpoint 1 drop here.
Yeah, and they're going to keep this going a little bit more. Brad being the last player left alive in a good position. Can they win that 1v1 against King? No, King slaying Brad and able to keep this push going a little bit farther. Can they clear that second checkpoint, though? Combining the Stingray from the back, but I don't think anybody else is kind of pushed up right there. An awkward spot, the Stingray. With nobody else really able to get to the tower, it gets shut down, and the boys hold on to that checkpoint, which they would have had to do a whole lot more to get across it right there. So still damage done. They do clear 1, but holding on to that second checkpoint will keep the boys into this one as we cross the halfway mark.
Yeah, and getting a pick with missiles here for Greg, trying to push up here. This first checkpoint is very huge, at least in this moment right now for the boys. Pushing up a bit, Brad able to find 1, 2 down on the side of Panko Fan Club, but King clearing out Plat a bit, finding another on that Bamboo, and dropping that second checkpoint. Here comes the Ray from King, but that second checkpoint has already dropped in favor of the boys.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about getting lead. I want to get that checkpoint, and that is huge for the boys right there. Good job of taking fights away from the tower so the person riding the tower could just kind of chill. And I want to point out, we've been kind of poking at Brad for having a little bit of connection issues, kind of stepping up in a big way so far. 9KA winning a lot of critical fights along that push right there. But now, with 1 more player going down, King trying to look for somebody to poke with the Stingray, isn't able to do just that, but should be able to get another Stingray online in a few seconds anyway, so to help them get across this second checkpoint. But a good push by the boys. They're just winning the fights when they need to.
Yeah, pushing it all the way to basically that third checkpoint too is honestly really huge, but John taking a 1v1 with this K-Machine, effective trade there, but 2 down on the side of the boys right now. And Panko Fan Club going 3 down and quick, and make that a delayed wipe, actually.
Yeah, Greg having a pretty good game for themselves as well, getting into some good positions right here, immediately pushing up along this left side. 50 seconds-ish left to go right now. Again, that second checkpoint, very critical to get across, and you just want to bleed off the clock right here. And if you're Panko, you want to try to make some plays, which is what the Kensa machine tried to do along that right side, but taking a 2v1 fight isn't really going to work out into your favor too many times. And right now, the boys in a very good position to win this game and get on the scoreboard, which they were struggling to do earlier in the set.
Yeah, Greg trying to find 1 on that left side, unable to do so just yet, and backing up, holding this upper right area, trying not to go down, but the siege a little bit too much for them to handle at this very moment. Less than 10 seconds left on this clock, and Panko Fan Club needs to push up into this fast area and take the second checkpoint to even have a chance right now.
It's going to be difficult to do with missiles raining down and control of your own plat. The defending team having control of their plat and specials to work with. And, it's difficult when we're put in a situation where you have to try to force yourself to clear that second checkpoint, but you can't really do it because you're not getting the splats you need. But there you go, Brad. I see you now, Brad.
Let's go, Brad.
When you stay in the lobby, you can make a huge difference right there, and the boys are up on the scoreboard. 2-1. Still Panko lead. But we're going into game 4 here with the tournament still going to be extended beyond this.
Yeah, Clam Bliss on the Reef. I personally enjoy the stage. I think this is one of the best map mode combinations in the game, personally. But it could go back and forth. It could be very neutral. You don't really know what to expect unless there's like a complete wipeout.
And as we're just kind of waiting for the teams to kind of ready up right here. Yeah, Clam Blitz at the Reef. This is going to be another one of those maps where it could come down to the slosher player versus the other slosher player. The Kenta machine that we've been seeing coming out from Panko Fan Club versus John, I believe, who has been very effective with a wide variety of Tri-Slosher, Soda Slosher, even the Neo machine we've seen used twice now. So far, once in this set, once in the last set. Actually, I don't think they've won a single game with the Neo machine. Not saying that's the Neo machine's fault, but with a map like this, you want to get control of bridge, and obviously Machine does a really good job of helping you establish control of bridge so that you can get your bamboo or whatever other weapon you want to get up there, get established, and get control of mid through that.
For sure. Let's head into this game here really quickly. Clambless on the Reef. And it can definitely be a Slosher v Slosher battle. Slosher Deco continuing around the world. Jesus.
Deco, Slosher Deco. Is this 2018? Slosher Deco used to be very popular, and is this completely fallen? I think it's the least used of all three. Even the vanilla one with missiles, obviously in the missile meta we're in right now. But Baller can be very good in Clam Blitz. I mean, we very rarely see it anymore, but if you need like an emergency push, Baller can make a big deal. If you, but when you're two players immediately going down in Panko Fan Club, able to get established control of the enemy base, Baller's not going to mean a whole heck of a lot to you right now.
That is definitely for sure here, and Panko Fan Club trying to find a way to push up 3v3 here on the field. Luke with the skate shot, able to find one. Able to get some points in on the board too, and a few follow-up with their teammates here. And early on, Luke just firing those missiles, finding a member in their opponent's car, push up so far they can't even push any further up as far as they are.
Palooka going back, taking advantage of all the fights that Panko's winning to get the clams they need to extend this push. Ultimately, the boys able to come back and shut this down, but 35 points remaining. And look, the Slosher's able to hold control of bridge as well, so they don't lose control of bridge during that push. So everything working in the favor of Panko Fan Club. A good start and a perfect finish to that push as well.
Yeah, definitely. You said that basically perfectly, better than I could possibly even. Armor up for Panko Fan Club here. Luke on this backside firing some missiles and trying to push up. Finding the Slosher, hopefully no, backing up.
That's right, I forgot that thing had Baller. Let me just back up a little bit here. And the Baller able to get a splat on top of it, rolling around into the enemy base. Brad chasing out the last player, but now they're kind of in a situation that Panko could do a pincer. Palooka able to come back, does not get a splat, but at least creates a pincer, and the lead goes into the favor of the boys. They're not done yet. Now they get wiped, though, and this is going to be a complete control of maps. Flip back over to Panko's Fan Club, who does lose lead, but with all this time left on the clock, they can just take it right back.
Yeah, and quickly, Luke able to score in the power clam, but there's no paint around. I don't know how much follow-up, if any, there will be for Panko Fan Club here. That's going to be a free pity clam for the boys.
Yeah, I think they felt like they had an extra player coming in behind them, or maybe they're just waiting for that Mercy Clam to drop and then grab it and then jump in with that, so that whoever got that splat on the boys of the player who popped the basket from Panko, really nice heads-up play that shut down that whole push that had potential for Panko to get it right back, and they might do it right here. And there goes the other power clam. Lead flips right back, and that is a game over. I'm going to have to look at the replay on that. Oh, I see what happened. They threw a power clam and missed it initially, so they're able to get the rebound. So they had 3 power clams right there 2 of them connected, 1 missed, because you see a lot of missed clam throws on that map. It's kind of awkward along that ridge. Able to pick up the rebound and dunk it back in, and Panko, who lost lead in dramatic fashion, said, we don't really care. We're just going to go win the game anyways.
Yeah, and we're here, 3-1 situation here, match point for Panko Fan Club, and we've been talking about John and how they've been going around the world with sloshers. The only slosher I've yet to see is X-Slosher.
Yeah, well, you're not going to see that.
What?
At least not out of these players, all right? We know you like the X-Splosh, but Brian's not here. Brian's probably asleep right now.
Oh.
I mean, this map, I would love to see a Hydra here myself, but we're not going to see it out of these players. I think we're not really going to see a whole lot of changing coming out from either side, to be honest with you. It might be a variant here or there, slosher. And we have seen John use a shooter earlier as well. But I don't foresee too many changes coming out here, especially from Panko Fan Club. I mean, it's not broke. Don't fix it. You've only lost 2 games all day long. They lost 1 game in the Nessie's pool stage, and they have lost game 3 on tower control. Just again, off of another one singular huge push from the boys, which has been how they've won all their games so far in this one. So the boys need to do a huge push right here. They'll need to create a lockout to get some sort of momentum going, because they have to win the next 3 if they want to win this tournament. A tall task. Panko has been shown that they can respond back from adversity from the L they took in game 3, and the huge lead that they lost earlier as well. And John saying, "Hey, we got a CDS that we can use as well." So look at the flexibility on John.
Yeah, and CDS isn't a bad option either. Like, you don't get the option with Slosher to shoot over the big walls and such surrounding this zone, but it allows you to get a lot of mobility.
Mobility getting taken down early as Panko able to get the splat that they need and control the zone. Soda Slosher player here, burst bomb ready to go as they're trying to work around that underneath area so that they can create a pincer on the backside, as Brad's just trying to wait around for somebody to come help, because that pincer is now finally coming and just swarming. Brad just getting chased out of their own side of the map. Nowhere really to go. Building up some missiles though. Can they combine those missiles with something? They can find a way to get back a zone with that, honestly. And it looks like the missiles, honestly, Brad staying alive right there to build up missiles and fire them, was able to chase everybody out of zone. So nice escapability from Brad. Not be able to get any splats, but at least gets the zone flipped back into their favor.
Yeah, it stalls it a bit longer. They applied a little bit more penalty to the players of Panko Fan Club, and firing more missiles out onto Panko Fan Club here, trying to push back in, armor up, more missiles coming out, plus the storm, and zone is more than likely going to flip here.
Finally does. The boys able to get it going here. And again, the boys win all their games when they just do one push and get a ton of points off of it. And that seems to be the situation right now. Brad pushed up. If somebody could go up there with Brad, they could create a pencil situation. Instead, they don't. And so now the man advantage back in the favor of Panko Fan Club. The boys were in a great position right there to get some additional splats and create a lockout. It's just nobody really went with Brad to force a pincer situation, get a free splat right there.
Yeah, and Brad taking advantage of this K-Gal on the side of Panko Fan Club, overextending a little bit, finding the pick there, but their teammate ends up going down, finding another pick onto that Soda Slosher. Zone more than likely going to flip here, but Brad watching their back, making sure no one comes around that backside.
About halfway through this game right now, somewhat even on the scoreboard, but Panko Fan Club has been doing a better job of getting value out of their pushes and creating lockouts so far, and able to kind of bust out of whatever hold the boys have been putting on to the zone. Z is sussy working around this plat area right here, dodging the Booyah Bomb that isn't going to be used to help stall out the zone into the favor of Panko. Instead, the rest of the boys able to collapse on the zone, get it for free, and take out 2 players on top of that. So here you go. If you're the boys, you don't have a lot of penalty points to choose through, and you take care of one more player. You're likely going to get lead, but you know you're going to need to get more points on top of it and create a huge lead right here. You really want to run up that scoreboard right now.
Definitely, if you're the boys, you're probably focusing on specials and staying alive, but you can't stay alive if 2 of you end up going down and using your specials. Unfortunately, 3 members going down on the side of the boys' first rush from the Soda Slosher. Unable to get any more follow-up onto that, but zone has flipped here, and penalty is already gone for Panko Fan Club.
Yeah, they didn't have a lot of penalty points left. That's why you wanted to get lead, obviously, but you wanted to do a whole heck of more on top of that. A missed opportunity to kind of drive up the scoreboard. They could find a way to hold on to lead right now for a little bit, but still, only 26 penalty points is standing between the boys and losing the lead right now. If John can stay alive right here in this 2v2 situation, does it roll away? Oh, bad DI, I guess you could say. Not able to escape the bomb right there. But one more player from the boys still alive.
Yeah, and holding those missiles as well. That's 11 missiles for that V-Jet right now. But this is going into the last 40 seconds here. Zone neutralized, flipping back in favor of the boys, holding on to lead for a little bit longer here. Luke popping this booyah onto this zone. Going down, though, to John, but John going down to that Soda Slosher burst rush from behind. And just like that, that's going to be zone back in favor of Panko Fan Club, and the boys need to figure out a way how to get the zone back and try to hold on to this lead as much as they can.
How about 12th missiles coming out right there, forcing everybody from Panko away from the zone. They're able to sketch it right back in. Look, they have basically no penalty points at all that they got to go through right now. But now, Rhythm going around this backside. Can they get back to the zone in time to make a difference? 2 more players going down from the side of the boys. Booyah Bomb, that's going to do it. You can't really... I'm assuming you can't overcome that, and they can't. Panko Fan Club able to hold on and win SOS number 65.
Yeah, Luke just threw that Booyah Bomb on the zone and kept painting. There was a few options to go for a pick or 2, but just decided to paint. That's all they needed to take lead, and very good heads-up play by Luke.
I thought we were going to see the boys win a set on or a game on stream that we in a fashion that we have not seen them do all day long. I thought we were going to see them win a close back and forth match where they were just chipping away at their penalty points over the course of the whole set, instead of the way they've been winning up to this point, which was one huge push and then just hold down and bunker down and hold on to that one push right there. They played right with their opponent the entire 5 minutes. It's just that final kind of opportunity right there. The rest of Panko able to hold on to the zone and stall it just long enough for the Soda Slosher's flank to work out. I thought it was a bit risky for the Soda to go through with that flank because I didn't think they were going to get there in time, considering they had to hold on to the zone, but they were able to do just enough for that Soda to get back in there, create that pincer situation, and the game's over at that point, as is the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Very good play by the members of Panko Fan Club, and good job to the boys for coming this far out as well, getting second place in SOS 65. But to end us off here, Popgun, where can the lovely viewers go find you at?
You can find me taking a bath after this and then hopping into bed because it's kind of late. Or Twitter at Mr_Popgun. Vapor, where can people find you?
You guys can find me eating my dinner here in like 5 minutes, but also at Twitter at V4P0R_SPL.
And it's getting kind of late on this school night. We appreciate you guys coming out, all the people who rated and took part in spectating this wonderful tournament. From all of us here at IPL, our the head TOs for this tournament, Grace and Sky, who I believe are passed out in the staff chat right there. Our producer, Kraken Mare, who I did not call Kraken Fair this time around. We got that right. Vapor and myself, we wish you guys a good night. We will see you back on Saturday as we are streaming Squid Boards here on IPL.